Hello everyone, I'm just going to wait for my mother to hit join and then we can get started. Just listening to some pre-show music, a bit of Madonna. Okay. Right. Just give it a few seconds for people joining. Hello everyone and welcome to Quarantine with Wilma. As you know, at West End Wilma we do Tea with Wilma, where we interview people in the West End, but as we're in lockdown, I thought it would be more appropriate to do Quarantine. I thought it was funny when I was drunk, but it's not so much now. For the next 3.5 hours, we're going to be talking to the stars of the West End right here in my living room. I'm not sure how it's going to work. If I need to go to the toilet, which I will, but I have made a sign which I have written backwards, so be ready for that one when it happens. Now this is just for fun and nothing serious. It's just a way to pass the time of day. It was a reason for me to have a shower and get dressed and do my hair. But if you do have any spare change, I have put a link in my bio to the Fund for Freelancers fund, set up by Paul Taylor Mills, which has raised over £53,000 so far for actors and creators in the theatre industry who are struggling at this time, and that money is being dished out to people in need to help pay their bills and things. So even though 53 grand is a lot of money, we don't know how long this quarantine thing is going to go on for, and so if you have even just a couple of pounds that you can spare, please do check out the link in my bio and donate what you can. So I hope you're all staying safe and well at home and not breaking the rules of quarantine and going out for anything other than exercise and food shopping. I know it's really difficult to not go out and see your friends and family, but I've seen people online being very ignorant, saying, oh, I haven't got the virus, neither has my family, so we can see each other, it's fine. It really isn't. Please just protect everyone. The sooner we can get rid of this, the sooner we can all go back to the theatre, which is what we want to do. Now, coming up between now and 4 p.m. in the first hour, we're going to be chatting to Luke Bayer, Sharon Sexton and Hayley Tamaddon. So keep watching for all of that. First of all, I thought it would be a good idea to break my mother's Instagram live virginity. I have set her up a Instagram account, and now let's see if we can get her on the line. Where is she? Let's see if we can connect. Hello?
I did it.
You did it. Well, yeah, you clicked the button. Well done. So welcome. I saw you getting a bit stressed there, saying it's not happening. I was doing what we call an introduction.
I know, I saw that. Well, I thought to make sure that I was there first.
Okay.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I've had a lovely day, actually. I had a very, well, the doorbell rang.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I was scared. And
Why?
I opened the door, and there was my little Isabel and my lovely Louisa and Simon standing there with a little present for me, that all the stuff that Isabel had made for me in a beautiful box for Grandma and Granddad. So we were standing at the doorstep chatting, and then Louisa decided that maybe we could go in the garden and sit at opposite ends, which is what we did. It's very emotional.
Okay. Well, don't do it too much because it's not technically correct.
Well, if I stay halfway down the garden, surely.
I know, but exactly what I've just said in the introduction about don't even see your friends and family.
If we're separated.
Yeah, it's still for the best to just stay at home.
Well, it's the first time in 6 weeks, Ed.
Okay, let's not argue live on Instagram. So I'm glad you're having a nice day. What have you been doing to keep yourself occupied during isolation?
Nothing exciting, Edward. I cleaned the oven yesterday and it's now sparkling.
Great.
It took me an hour and a half. I've just finished Jane McDonald's book. which I
Right.
recommend to anyone. That was fabulous. Just doing different little jobs. Lots in the garden. I'm feeling quite emotional and very, very grateful that I have a small outside space. Because when I was pregnant with your sister in 1979, we lived in a one-bedroom flat. And the year she was born, it was one of the hottest summers. And I hated it. So if I had to do that now, so then people are heroes as well if they're staying in. It's terrible, especially with a few kids. Awful. So I'm quite grateful. What about you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I've got well, as you know, I've got a little bit of outside space as well,
Yeah.
which is nice. Yeah, I don't think anyone's taking it for granted at the moment,
No.
having a bit of space, being able to keep the doors open and let some air in.
Yeah.
But how do you think people can stay busy during this time? Have you got any tips?
Well, books. I'm all over YouTube at the moment. I know.
Doing what?
Just watching World Abandoned Explorer. He's fabulous. I must secretly fancy him, I think.
I've not heard of it.
That's amazing. Going looking around at abandoned houses, and he's saying why are they abandoned, and especially the ones in France. Apparently, the tax is so high, it's better for people to leave them abandoned as opposed to sell them, which I don't quite understand. But yeah, they're saying for all the people that haven't got houses and stuff, it's a crying shame that all these places are lying empty. But it's also very fascinating looking at how people used to live as well, because obviously they're like old abandoned houses. So that's really interesting. And I keep up with all my programs. Just finished The Nest.
Oh yeah, I finished that.
That was amazing. Watched the quiz the other night.
Yeah.
I thought, what's his name? Michael Sheen, who played Chris Tarrant. I thought he was amazing. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
And the show was really good. What else? Gardening. Dad's been fixing the fish pond because the pump broke, but he did that. Okay. We've got little birds nesting, which we love. We love to look at the birds. I haven't really got any tips. Just do as you're told, stay in.
Did you watch X Factor? No, Britain's Got Talent.
Got Talent, yes. The little boy, he was amazing. The little magician. He was only 10.
Oh yeah.
He blew me away. You used to like magic when you were little. You had a box of magic tricks, and you used to.
I don't think I could do any of them though.
Well, you did. No, you did.
I'm not sure if I ever learnt a magic trick.
Well, you did magic for us. I'm not saying it was anything like this little 10-year-old, but you did do it. You were always going to be, well, I thought you were going to be on the stage, the other side of the stage.
What, on the stage?
Being a West End star, singing and dancing.
Except I can't sing and I can't dance.
I know. Well, your voice is okay.
No, it isn't.
It's not West End material. Other things, just keeping in touch with people on Facebook, although I don't really do too much of that.
Playing Candy Crush?
Oh, yeah.
Will?
Oh, yes. Yeah, love it. And really chuffed because, do you still play it? Oh, because they gave us loads of free lives, like for 24 hours. I wish they'd do it again. If anyone from Candy Crush is watching, please give us some free lives again. Because that was great.
I've started playing Farm Heroes.
No, I'm not going to do another one. I'm addicted to this one.
It's kind of the same kind of thing.
Yeah. You're still not drinking? Well done.
7 days sober.
Edward, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. And Pete?
Yeah, both of us. on
Fabulous.
the water.
So
Who knows how long we'll do?
What's going to make you decide to have one?
I don't know. I mean, really, the problem is if we haven't had a drink for a few days, then we're fine. But as soon as we have a drink, we then the next day want a drink to kind of top up, to kind of get rid of the hangover.
So maybe not ever have another drink.
Yeah, or just drink socially when we go out.
Yeah,
the problem is we drink a lot at home.
Yeah.
I think our plan is to try and not drink at home, or just have a little bit on a Sunday. But no, we're gonna do, I don't know, at least another week.
Wow.
Maybe longer. I mean, right now we've got no reason to go out, no reason to have a drink.
No.
You know, it's not like it's someone's birthday and we're going out to the pub. So it's probably a good time to try and dry out a little bit. We spent the first 4 weeks completely drunk all the time.
God.
So now we're trying it the other way and see if we can become a bit healthier and fitter.
Admirable. Yeah.
Have you learnt any new skills while you've been in quarantine?
Yeah, I've now got my own Instagram.
Yes.
Called Mummy Wilma.
Yes. God knows what I've done creating that for you. You're probably going to pick up a few followers off of this.
Am I allowed to go on it and take pictures and put them on? Not allowed.
As long as you send them to me first, so that I can check what you're doing.
Are you going to edit them?
No, I'm just going to double check what you're posting.
Well, it won't be anything rude, will it?
Hopefully not. You never know with you after you've had a few boxes of wine.
Oh dear.
So are you going to be watching for the rest of the day?
Well, I don't know how this is all working. So will I be able to say, who's the next person? Is it Luke Grayer?
Yeah.
See, I do pay attention. Lovely.
So after I get rid of you, you'll just be able to keep watching it.
Okay. So if I say something, will you hear me?
No.
Oh.
Not after you've gone.
What's the point of that then?
The idea is that you just watch to see me talking to other people. I mean, you don't have to. What else have you got to do?
Well, I'm cooking my dinner.
What are you having?
Roast belly, pork, roast potatoes, and cauliflower cheese. And maybe a Yorkshire. He's shouting from the kitchen because he's actually doing it.
Oh,
I
okay.
prepped it. Yeah.
Okay,
so,
well...
so the only way I can interact is by typing something in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll see it come up. Like, you can see all the comments coming up, can you? At the moment on the screen.
Yes.
So you can type things in. Yeah. So if you want to say anything, yeah, you can do that.
Katie Baker.
Okay, any other words of wisdom before I let you go?
Oh, that's 15 minutes went quick, or have you cut it short?
It's 15:15.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got a strict timeline to stick to on this.
Special thank you to David Hunter because he sent me an amazing cameo from my son. And I was about to go and see Waitress, and of course that all fell through. Oh, just hello to everybody. Love everybody. Miss the West End. That's it, Ed. I'll go. I'll shut
All right, bye.
Hello,
Thanks for coming.
Tim. Bye, darling. I love
you. Yeah. Okay, so that was my mum. Please remember that if you are able to make any small donation today to the Fund for Freelancers Fund, there is a link in my bio. It's set up by Paul Taylor Mills, and they have raised over £53,000 so far for actors and creatives in the theatre industry who are struggling at this time, and they're sharing the money out that's raised to help them pay rent and bills and things. And even though they've raised a lot of money so far, we don't know how long this is going to go on for. We certainly don't know when theatre's going to be back. And so if you can give a couple of pounds or anything, please do. Link is in my bio. Now, I hope you're all staying safe and well at home. and social distancing, unlike my mum, who's been sitting in the garden with my family. Please don't be ignorant and believe you're an exception to the rule. I'm not sure how it works exactly, but it is better that we just follow the rules. So now I believe we have Luke Bayer. Let me see if I can join him. Here we go. I didn't realise you could add people, so it makes things much easier, the fact I can do that. Oh, hi!
Hello, how you doing?
I'm all right, how are you?
I'm not bad, thanks. I was absolutely creasing. Your mum was making me laugh so much.
Yeah, she's a bit of a liability. I was talking to someone this morning and they saw the rundown of who was on and they said, oh, I'll tune in at the beginning because I like your mum. I was like, thanks.
I love you.
What about me? You never know what's going to happen with my mum, which is the good thing. Oh, what are you eating?
Sorry, a
lemon ice.
lolly. It's just delicious.
Nice. Out in the garden?
Coca-Cola and... Pardon?
Are you out in the garden?
I am. I've got my SPF on and I'm sat in the sun getting some sunlight.
Are you in London or are you...
Oh, no, I came back up north, but I am ready to get back to London now, so...
Are you going to stay until the end of lockdown or...?
I don't know what I can do. Probably.
I guess it's hard. Do you live with other people in London?
One friend, yeah. My friend
So it's that whole thing of if you're quarantining, is it okay to go back into a house?
Well, that's the thing, so...
I don't really understand.
Probably not, to be honest.
I've seen people online advertising rooms for rent because they're away, but I don't really know if you should be bringing people in.
See, I've seen people advertising rooms and then their housemates that would be living with that person have said, I don't really want anyone else coming in because...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? How have you been keeping busy for the last month? Sunbathing?
No, bits and pieces online, to be honest. I've taught a few workshops, done a few Q&As. Excuse me, I nearly choked on my lemon lolly. I've got a workshop next week for West End Boot Camp. I think it's on the 24th, which is the Monday in the evening. So I'm doing that for an hour, a couple of hours, which will be like a singing technique one, which will be cool. I did like a Jamie dance one the other day, bits and pieces like that, recording stuff, collaborating with people, listening to new stuff that I don't know. And
you're doing a Sing Easy Instagram Live next week, Wednesday?
That's Wednesday night, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got all
Wednesday,
stuff written in my diary, because if I don't write it down, then I'm so scatty. I'll be just sat in my garden drinking Coke Zero.
It's amazing, isn't it, how busy people seem to be keeping. I think, theatre performers and actors, they like to be busy all the time.
Completely.
And it's just amazing that this world of social media we live in is able to keep it all alive with all these concerts and, workshops and online quizzes. And it's... Yeah. Kind of makes you realise how lucky we are to not be living in the war times.
Oh my God, completely.
Have nothing.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few different concerts of people's as well, which has been great. I've seen a few of the Lambert Jackson ones. I love them. I think they're amazing. Like with Theatre Cafe as well, who I think are fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing how they managed to move it from the Theatre Cafe into people's homes so easily. I've got no idea how they've managed to do it, but...
My God, it's amazing. And they did that so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie's here. Hi, Jamie. Love you and your mum. Send my love. Margaret.
Have you done one yet? You haven't done the Leave the Light On show, have you?
No.
Are you going to do one?
I don't know.
I don't know how long they're going on for.
I don't know. I've done like a few different things. Just I'm really impulsive. So like on a day I'll be just singing in my house and I'm like, oh, sod it. I'm just going to go Insta Live and then I'll just have a sing. So I've probably already outsung everything that's to be sung. So
now you've got a filter on this, haven't you? How do I put a filter on?
I put the retro cam filter on just because I thought it would be a vibe in the sunshine.
How do I? Oh, okay. Oh,
wow.
What's the best one to have? Maybe I should just do this for the next 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So have you got any tips on how people can stay busy during isolation? I mean, it's a really difficult time for people.
Well, I think it's about having balance, because some days I feel like I do loads and I'm really proactive, and then other days I'm like, I just can't be bothered to do anything, so I'll just sit and watch a TV series all day. But then other days, like yesterday, I've agreed to like a few like group video singing things that are like going to be released soon, and I've got like a few that I need to record, and yesterday I was trying to record one of them, and I got one of them done, so that was my achievement for the day. So I think it's just about like small accomplishments on a day, you know.
Have you been watching anything good on TV?
I
Reading any books?
Housewives from season 1.
Oh, you've never seen it before?
I've seen it from like maybe season 3 or 4.
Okay.
I can't remember any of it, so.
I can't. Is it on Amazon or Netflix or?
It's not on Netflix. It used to be on Sky box sets.
Right.
So you could watch it all for free, but then when I then went to watch it, it's not on there anymore. And on Amazon Prime, you have to pay like £2 an episode or something. I bought all the box sets and a DVD player because I'm really extra. So,
bought a DVD player just so.
Yeah.
I suppose it works out if you're going to buy like what 10 seasons.
There was 8, and I got them Amazon. You can buy them used, and I got them for £3 a full season on DVD.
Oh, amazing!
So I probably spent about £40, but I was like, at least I've got them now forever. And Max is here as well. I just want to say hi to Max. Hi, Max.
Hi, everyone. And the Les Mis DVD comes out tomorrow, the concert one, which they've just announced they're going to be donating a lot of the money from it to the charities.
That's amazing. That's so good.
That's going to be available to download tomorrow, so I'll probably watch that. And Flowers for Mrs. Harris, have you watched that yet?
Oh, I haven't. I want to.
Oh, I've only watched Act 1 because I was a bit of a mess by the end. It was so good.
I've heard that.
But I just imagine the second half is going to break me.
Really?
So
I've no idea what it's about.
It's about this. It's based on a book called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and basically Act 1 is about this woman who's got no money and she works like as a cleaner, but her dream is to go to Paris and buy a Dior dress. And so it's just all about that. And
cute.
I don't even know if she makes it yet. But no, it's really, and her husband's died, and it's all about how she tries to get the money, and it's really, really good. The bit that I've seen. It's on the.
I know it's got an amazing cast.
Yeah, it's got Claire Burt and Claire Machin, who I think is amazing in anything she does. Laura Pulford.
Yeah.
Loads of people. It's highly recommend it.
It's the Calendar Girls one that was on in the West End.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to see that.
It was one of my favourite shows I've seen. I loved it, and I saw it in the last week. I saw that the day I found out I got Jamie.
Did you?
Found out I got Jamie that day, and I was like, I'm going to go to the theatre by myself to celebrate.
Oh, it was good. Did you see it on tour after that?
I missed the tour, unfortunately.
The tour was so different.
Oh, really?
It was really different, the way they did the songs. Like, you know the bit where the Claire Machin character, where she's dancing on top of the car?
Brilliant, yeah.
That was cut, and it was just, she was just playing on a piano. It was good, but it was really differently done.
Oh, wow.
And some of the music sounded very different.
Oh, I loved it.
But yeah, no, I loved it as well.
It was so good. And the village my family live in is where the Calendar Girls are from, so I know a lot of the actual...
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it called?
In Yorkshire. So I live in a little village just outside of Skipton, but they're all from around here. A few of them live in my village.
Oh.
We live in like Carlton, and yeah, so my mum knows them all. But it's just really cool to see how it's gone from. I remember when we got the calendar
When you got the calendar?
We've got the original calendar, yeah, somewhere.
No way.
Which is probably worth a lot of money now. It's crazy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
And it's based in a school. When they did the film, it's filmed in Airedale School, which is not Airedale, Airville School in Skipton, which is like quite an interesting school.
Have you picked up any new skills during quarantine?
I wish I could say yes. I want to. I bought a ukulele.
Okay.
Because I was like, that could be cool. And I've not picked it up once yet, so I need to get on with that. I'm very impulsive, but then sometimes if I'm not very good at something straight away, I'm like...
Let me show you. I bought one of these sock monkeys. Have you seen when you make them yourself?
No.
And you buy it online. It's like one of these.
Oh, cute.
And I've only got this far, and it doesn't quite look like. And the legs, if you can see, they're completely different sizes. But I've got to sew that up.
Oh, okay.
But I just thought this is so awful that I've kind of given up on it. And then I think about buying puzzles and things, but I don't know where I would do them. I mean, I've got a table that I'm sat at now, but if I put a puzzle out, then I can't sit anywhere and do anything else.
Are you in Paris?
No, I'm back in London now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I came back in January.
I feel like I saw this because did you post about it? Like,
Probably.
but maybe I saw the pictures and thought, no, and didn't read. And
Yeah,
thought,
no, came back in end of January.
Ah, okay.
I've been back for a few months now, which is, and it's nice because it's nice to be in lockdown in a country that you really know.
Yeah.
Like if I was in Paris and I went out to the supermarket and got stopped by the police asking me what I was doing, I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying to me, and I don't know how to answer you. Because even though I was there for 2 years, I didn't really learn a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice to be back, and I've got a little bit of outside space here, so it's good. Have you downloaded Disney Plus?
I have. I've not watched anything on it yet, but I got it the day it came out because I saw everyone tweeting about it, and I thought I'm gonna have to get it. And then I've not actually got around to watching anything. I want to watch that Encore thing.
Yeah, I thought it was a film, but it's not. It's like a
Series,
series of. Yeah, I read about it, and
Someone told me it's like, so say me and you were in Bugsy Malone when we were 7 years old, and then flash forward 30 years, and then all of us get back together and we re-perform the show in the parts that we played.
Really?
That's what someone told me it is, and I was like, that could. And they were like, it's really funny and like sad and loads of things. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not really a massive Disney fan. I never have been.
Do you like Disney?
Not really, but it's got a lot of kind of the Disney films like Pirates of the Caribbean and some of the old classics. So I've got it. Like I've still got this TV channel that I'm subscribed to from France called Canal Plus, and because I'm subscribed to that till the end of the year, just because I paid up for it, and Disney own them, so I actually get Disney Plus for free as part of my subscription with that. So at least I don't have to pay for it, because I don't think I would have downloaded it otherwise.
Okay. I will. I do need to check some stuff out on there, but I feel like because I've got Sky as well, I feel like a lot of the stuff is on Sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how many subscriptions you can have. Obviously, Netflix, Sky, Disney,
Amazon
now.
Yeah, everything.
It's a lot. There's a lot of, sometimes too much.
Yeah, I just find myself watching Law and Order back to back.
Oh, I've never watched that.
Oh, it's like old school 90s police dramas.
Okay.
It's addictive. They play like 3 a night back to back on like 5 Star, the channel.
Okay.
From like 10 o'clock to like 1. So I normally just lay in bed and watch those. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. This was a really interesting conversation about TV.
Basically, that was.
Didn't even ask you anything. But thank you for joining us.
Absolute pleasure.
And you look like you're having a great time up north in the sun.
Make the most of the sunshine. I planted some hedges the other day, so if anyone needs any gardening, give me a shout, because I'm a gardener now. So.
Okay, I've just planted some vegetable seeds.
Okay.
I've got this like vegetable growing box on Amazon.
Not one with the white thing.
With the what? No.
Oh,
no, it's just like purple carrots and like obscure vegetables.
Oh.
So I planted them and I've got them out in the sun and they're just starting to poke through now. So I'm starting to experiment with green fingers.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
Absolute pleasure.
And I'll speak to you soon. Have fun in the sun.
You too. Take care.
See you later. Bye. There we go. Luke Bayer there. And next up, we should have Sharon Sexton. So let me see if she is here. Here she is. Let me see if we can connect to her. I've never done a proper Instagram live like this before. So adding people and... Hello! Yay! How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm good. You look very nice.
I was able to join you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for that message earlier on. I wouldn't have had a clue. I would have been just sat here looking at the phone waiting for it to ring.
Well, I didn't realise. Someone at the beginning told me that I can request people to be in the video. So I didn't realise. I thought you had to request to come into my video.
Well, here I
So
am.
it's new to me as well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
How's
Not
life
bad.
in quarantine?
Like, it's okay. Do you know what? It has its good days and its bad days. It's up and down. It's very strange for us because we're in a place we don't know at all. Like, myself and Rob, when Mamma Mia stopped, we just kind of stuck a pin in a map, literally, and went, right, where can we go that's kind of close to London in case one of us needs to fly somewhere, but that's not going back into the city. And we've ended up in Lincolnshire, which is like beautiful. But yeah, it's grand. It's lovely.
And how did it work? Like when you found out we were going into lockdown, were you still on tour with Mamma Mia?
Yeah,
Or...
we were the last. We were, I think, the night that the West End shut down, the rest of the theatres around the country followed suit. And we were in Hull, and basically all of our dressing rooms were underground, and we had no signal, and it was just approaching the half, and everybody came out of their dressing rooms, and we were like, what are we doing? Are we going up? Are we not? And we had people in the venue, and our management just went, do it. And we all knew that it was going to be the last one, which was so bizarre, because all of a sudden half your head is on the show, and then the other half is going, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do about digs? Where are we going to live? Do you know what I mean? So it was so weird. So I think there was only 4 theatres in all of the UK that had shows that night. So we were the last Mamma Mia to play, yeah.
At least you had a chance to do it one last time.
We did. And like, obviously by that stage, nobody knew whether we were going to actually be, if it was for a week, if it was for 2 weeks, if it was for a month. But there's a couple of people who are leaving our tour early. So in the back of our head, I won't say who because I don't think they've announced anything or anything yet, but in the back of our head, I knew it was the last time probably that we were going to do it together. So it was really weird. Yeah.
Because it's going on for quite a while, isn't it? And they've rescheduled the dates that you aren't able to do into next year.
Till the year after next, 2022.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on that when I saw
it.
Can
I just say hi to everybody? There's people saying hello to me. Hello, hello, hello.
I can't even keep up.
Yeah, no, I'm going to talk to you. I can't read all of them, but I am getting your hair. I know. I'm going to get in so much trouble. I did this today. But anyway, yeah. So 2022, they're adding on those dates. They're going back to those venues, yeah.
But at least they're rescheduling it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's Mamma Mia. In some ways, it's really lucky because Mamma Mia's been around for so long. It's probably one of the more robust shows. Do you know what I mean? That like they can weather this storm, I hope. So they have tours and venues planned, and there's such a strong following that they'll be back. Yeah.
It's all just so, like, even when they do reopen, you just think, you just don't know how long this is going to take to get over it, do you?
Weird. And there's so many, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and she works in the technical department, and there's just so many parts of this that you don't even think about, where you're going, like, all of the trucking companies that move all the sets are all going to be needed on the same day at the same time, and all the technical people and all the rehearsal spaces, because, you know, we can't all just walk back on a stage. So when they give us the green light, there's so many logistics of things that it's just going to be mental. Yeah.
And even I saw Andrew Lloyd Webber talking the other day, and he was saying even if we reopen in September, Cinderella is due to open in the West End in October. He said, but what you don't think about is right now we're supposed to be building the sets and the scenery. He's like, no one's doing that. So even though you think...
there's so many moving parts, do you know what I mean? And
all
also,
kind of...
I think for some of the venues as well, like they would open maybe for us, but then they might have 2 dark weeks after that. So then it doesn't make sense for them to reopen and shut down again. So it's so many plates in the air. So I think all of us, all you can do is just make peace with it and go, what will be, will be. Some days that's harder than others. Do you know what I mean? So.
But you've been keeping busy in quarantine, and you guys have filmed a like a living room concert film.
It was supposed to be like a concert, then it turned into a music video. Then we thought we were like the best photographers, video makers in the world. Then we were shooting footage. Then we were like putting on harmonies. Then we were doing different camera angles. We totally lost the run of ourselves, and we've made, I don't know what you call it, but I'm so proud of it. There's been so much time and love and passion got into it, and it kept us so busy. It is a living room concert, really, recorded, and we did it over the period of 2 weeks, where we had to re-rehearse the songs and relearn them. And we did some tracks all through our laptop and GarageBand with backing vocals. And then over different nights, when we'd all of that done, we just stood in the living room, did our hair and makeup, put a t-shirt on, sang a couple of songs, had a drink, watched some Netflix, and the next night we did it again. You know what I mean? So it was lovely.
Yeah. I watched about half of it already, and it's got like a 90s indie acoustic vibe.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
That. I think a lot of our songs were 90s children. Well, I certainly am. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, definitely we've got, between the two of us, we've definitely developed a style of writing that does fit that kind of era. So yeah, and obviously everybody looks better in black and white, don't they? So the whole thing has been like, sepia is our new best friend.
Yeah, I've only found out today that you can put filters on the Instagram Live.
Really?
Apparently.
Ah, okay.
So it's called Grounded.
It is, and I think it's like 15, 16 songs. Most of them are originals, some are covers, and it's interspersed with like little bits from us about where we're staying, about why we wrote them, what inspired them. A lot of them were written last year, and we did them in a concert in the Crazy Cops, which we only have filmed from fans and bits and pieces on iPhone, so they kind of would have been lost. So it was really good for us to now at least have this for ourselves, you know?
Yeah. And where can people get it?
So you can get it on either of our Twitter pages or our Facebook pages or our Instas. We both have links to them, and it's literally, first of all, we released the Crazy Cox one, the Vision of You, and that was for, I've seen you have a little donate link as well for the Funds for Freelancers.
Yeah.
And that raised so much money for that. We were like, that is incredible. So when we'd done our bit, we were like, okay, well, we're in lockdown and we're paying for this beautiful cottage that we're staying in, but like we put a PayPal link out for this, which people have been donating £10 to, and which is on our pages as well. And you just go on there, click, and we send you everything. So, yeah,
it's all on, I think it's on the news section of West End Wilmot as well.
Oh,
so
amazing.
people can go on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, do check it out, everyone, because it's really, really nice, really different.
Yeah, no, it is. It's unique, isn't it? Sorry,
yeah.
Say hello. Say hi.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
He makes a cameo in the video as well on the beach.
He's our shining star. He's like, my mother watched it and she was like, I hope you're paying that dog commission. I hope you've got a new collar or something. I'm like, yeah.
I want to talk quickly back to Mamma Mia, because I came to see it in Paris.
Oh,
and you were playing at this huge, like,
arena.
It was an arena, but it was kind of like a stadium. It was
mental.
It was huge. How did that feel, performing a theatre show in such a kind of Wembley Arena environment? Did it feel different?
Yeah, it was really bizarre, and it was weird because the audience felt very far away from you anyway because it was so big, but also the language as well. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we did the show completely in English with subtitles, so there was that kind of jarring thing as well, where you would land a joke and then you'd get a ripple of laughter 10 seconds later, where the audience had read it, gone back to what you had delivered, and then patched it up in their heads. It was really, really weird. But the only thing I'll say about it is that if anything can fill a stadium like that, it is the music of ABBA. Because once the music kicks in, you just go, it was made for those kind of big audiences. Like, and they're such strong songs. So I think that made it survive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was amazing to see it in such a different environment to what we're used to in the smaller theatres.
So that's such an amazing thing about touring as well, which is like you go into a different venue, it's like it changes everything so much. It really keeps you on your toes, you know, of like the different sizes of some of the beautiful venues we've played, particularly in Bradford as well, like where the audience is there in the dress circle, and it's just like you can reach out and touch them. It's amazing.
We've had loads of questions come in for you. So I want to just do a few of those. If you could have tea with Donna and Sloane, what would you ask them?
Oh God, I'd ask them advice for me. Like, am I doing it right? Oh God, such a good question. I'd probably ask them for like their top 3 tips on life or something, what they've learned.
And how do you approach songwriting when you're doing your own stuff? You got a certain way that you write?
Yeah, I have lyrics scribbled everywhere. If I find something nice, I write it down. I bought a book a few years ago, which is battered now to bits. But if I have it in my head, I have to get it down. Sometimes if I don't have that on me, I will send myself an email draft, and then I always have it. But the song title is the subject title. It might disappear, and if it comes back to me, I can search it. But usually it starts with Rob finding a hook line, and Rob is amazing at vowel sounds. Like I always try and tell a story. But Rob is very, no, that sound here needs to be a oh, wow. And I'm like, all right. And I find words to fit with it. And then I make the story happen with the lyrics. But he finds the music. So yeah, it's kind of a balancing act of all of that.
And this is a difficult one, I imagine, but would you rather write and perform your own music or stay in theatre?
Do you know, at the moment, this always happens to me. When I play a role, I get so sucked into it. And it becomes my everything, and I start dressing and thinking as that person. I really like Dora, and then I never have time to get into my own writing. But this gap has really made me believe in our music again as well. And like even since Grounded stuff, it was a bit of a labor, kind of going back into it, going like we have to relearn these songs. But like we've been writing pretty much every day, just little bits and pieces, and we're writing new material. And I'm going, I'd love to. I'm enjoying having the space to think about that. So yeah, I think at the moment I'm more into my own stuff.
Okay. And somebody else asked, have you picked up any new skills in quarantine?
I know 3 chords on the guitar.
It's as far as you've got.
Yeah, that's as far as I got. I really have no excuse. I really want to be able to play that properly. I've been carrying it around with me since September, since I got it. So.
It's so hard though to find the motivation to just do anything. I think we were saying when I apologised for how long it took to reply to an email. It's like got no excuse.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you as well. It's like some days you just can't. It's like it is. It's really funny, and Disney Plus has been great for that. By the way, for the days that you can't do anything, I've literally just gone right today.
Yeah.
Tramp the movie. That's it, and shut the blinds. Yeah.
Sometimes just getting out of bed is an achievement right now.
It really is. It really, really is. Yeah, it's hard. And I think what I'm learning, especially even just going out for a walk with the dog and going out and the people that you kind of even, keeping social distancing, whatever, but the people you meet, everybody is so on their own journey with this stuff at the moment. Some days, even friends in WhatsApp groups and stuff, some days people are up and they're positive, and then some days other people just can't handle that and just don't want it and don't feel it. And I think you just kind of have to listen to yourself and where you're at and just go, right, that's what today's going to be.
And talking about that, have you got any advice for people that are maybe on their own? Like how can people stay motivated?
I don't think you need to stay motivated as well. And there's actually so much advice going around at the moment of like some stuff I really needed to hear, like, this is how you can do this and this is how you can. And then I read an article where it was like, you don't need to be doing anything, like just relax and just take this time for what it is. And like I said, everybody's going, just listen to your head. If you don't want it, and same with me with exercise, if you don't want to do it today, don't do it. Just don't do it.
I won't.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Because I find if I do that and I try and make myself run because I feel like I should, I have to get out and do my half an hour. That's when I'll injure myself or something. My body will just have a tantrum.
And just quickly before we go, everybody's asking, what are your favourites on Disney Plus?
Oh God, I watched a lot of old stuff. Homeward Bound was a film that I used to absolutely adore as a kid, and which I was having a total meltdown a couple of weeks ago, and like literally that was what started it off. Rob literally just went, right, get into bed, put on a laptop, went, right, Homeward Bound, there you go. Just left me alone with the movie for an hour and a half. I feel better now. I love that. And with Lady and the Tramp, we watched that the other day as well.
Yeah.
And somebody told me I have to watch Newsies, which is on there too.
Yes.
Haven't had a chance to look at that.
And Encore, everybody's talking about with Kristen Bell. Apparently it's like, I was just talking to Luke Bayer about it. Apparently it's like people that were in films like Bugsy Malone or shows as children, and now they kind of recreate it as adults.
Oh God! Oh wow!
Apparently, but I think it's called Encore. So that might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. It's time has flown by. And as we were saying, there is a link in my bio to the Fund for Freelancers Fund, if anybody can spare a couple of pounds.
It's amazing, like amazing. I love our little community. It's fabulous. Before I go really quickly, because I did hear you say that you're not drinking, which we were for a long time. I'm falling back into it now, but we did 2 or 3 months. Gin, seed lip. I don't know if you've had it yet, but it is amazing.
I don't like gin.
All right, okay.
As a rule.
That's for you.
I know. So, but I have tried
man,
that.
you?
Yeah.
There's I'll email it to you because I found a website which is actually delivers non-alcoholic substitutes for everything, and they're so good. I am going to send that, I'm going to find it.
Okay, send it over to me. I'll have a look. But yeah, I've done a week today, and I'm going to try and do at least another week, and then maybe treat myself to a glass of wine.
Do it.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us, and look after yourselves. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye. Thanks
Bye.
for having me. I don't have to do it, do I?
No. Okay, great. Right, next up, I think we have Hayley Tamaddon. Let me see if she's on here. Yes, she is. Everybody I want to call is the first person that shows up. I don't know why that is. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
Did I press the button too soon?
No, I've realised that I can call you.
Oh,
Which is
I'm
what I did.
rubbish at this stuff. So
Yeah, me too. I've only just realised how it works. I've never done anything like this before.
Well, I'm really proud of you.
Why?
Because it's good. Do you know what? My friend said yesterday, why don't you do a question and answer thing on Instagram? And I was like, no way, no way. But now you're doing it, other friends are doing it, and I think I might be brave and give it a go.
It's just, I mean, the thing I hate most is doing things like this. And just before I started it, today my boyfriend said, why do you do this to yourself? You get yourself in such a state. Because the reason I started a blog was to hide behind a computer and never have to do anything like this. But, obviously I didn't plan for anything to take off.
I remember the first interview you ever did with me, how nervous you were.
Was that in your agent's office?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, how many years we've known each other so long now. And I remember
we
that.
met when you were doing Spamalot 10 years ago.
I am so old. It's ridiculous.
And I was thinking about that the other day, and I must have told you this before, that before you started in Spamalot, they were trying to do some alterations to your Lady of the Lake dress. And they were like, who do we know here that's got a similar kind of body shape? And everybody just went, Ed? And I was like, no. I am not putting that dress on. So I nearly...
so wonderful with me. You were always just glorious, lovely to chat to. You always championed me, and it always felt like you had my back, and I'm always grateful to you for that. And actually, saying that, you've never stopped. You still have my back.
Yeah,
only
of course.
A year or two ago, I had some trouble online with someone.
Oh, yeah.
You were straight there for me, and honestly, you remember things like that. You remember people like you, so I'm forever grateful to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not the kind of person that pretends to like people if I don't. So yeah, I do follow through. I'm not just going to like you because you're in a show.
Yeah.
If I like someone, I'll be there to support them throughout everything. But no, you're really talented, and especially with your stage stuff, I've always really enjoyed the things that you've done.
Thank you.
Chicago you did recently.
I loved that.
That was amazing.
Loved Chicago. I did Chicago, and then Millie was the last kind of big...
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one.
I know, I was really sad you didn't see that, because it was a horrible ending to that show. It was it got pulled, and it wasn't very nice. And yeah, I think you'd have liked that. It was a good one.
Why didn't I come and see it? When was it on?
I think you were waiting to come to somewhere near you, and the tour got cancelled. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was that was just a dream show with a dream cast. I mean, gosh, we were so lucky.
And you were saying, I watched some live stream you did. Was it Dan Buckley you did one with yesterday or the day before?
No, David O'Reilly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you want to do more TV.
I do, yeah.
What kind of, ideally, what would you like to do? Might we see you in EastEnders?
Hey, I would love to do EastEnders, but I just don't know whether they go for northern people in EastEnders.
Can you do the accent? The
Oh, I
London
love, yeah,
accent?
I could do it, yeah. But you know what? It would be really good if they actually had a nice northern family in there, because they used to years ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, EastEnders, of course I would do it. But I would love to do a comedy. I'd love to do a comedy sitcom, and I'd love to do a drama. There's so much I want to do still, you know. And I've got a baby now to consider.
I
so
know. I was going to say your biggest role to date.
that is
Motherhood.
it, totally, and the hardest. Wow. I mean,
What is it now? 6 months?
6 months old. Yeah.
Born just before. So I'm October the 15th, and it was just before that, wasn't it?
Yeah, October the 12th. Yeah.
I remember last time I saw you saying, "Oh, Edward's a very good name
Yeah, I
for an
know.
October
Everyone I met.
baby."
Yeah.
And how is that, especially being in isolation now? Do you feel like you've got more time than you would have had as a family?
Yeah, I mean, I always said I'll take the first 6 months with him before thinking of going back to work, and that is 6 months now, and I had 2 jobs that are obviously cancelled to go to. But now I get to spend more time with him. It's almost a blessing in disguise, really. So I'm loving every second of it. I mean, it's hard. It's hard work being a mom. And the first few months were really tough. But I feel like I'm coming out the other side of that now. And yeah, I mean, he's just a joy. I'm very lucky, very lucky.
I guess it's probably good that he is still a baby. And I feel bad for friends that I know that have got like 3 7-year-olds.
I know.
And now they're just stuck at home with screaming children running
Yeah.
around all day, every day.
I know, trying to do
That must
homework.
be-
And,
Yeah, that
oh
must
God.
be the worst thing. What have you been doing to stay busy apart from looking after a baby? Have you like taken on any new skills or done anything to take you out of a slump?
I've been writing, actually.
Okay.
I love writing, but I don't have much patience. So I end up just giving up and putting it down and going, nah, I'm not doing that. But yeah, I've been writing a little comedy series.
Okay.
And I've also written a kid's book as well. I mean, who knows what I'll do with them? They'll probably just sit there and I won't show them to anybody. But yeah, I've written quite a lot actually, and I'm proud of myself. Yeah.
What's the kids' book about? Can you tell us?
The kids' book is I just need someone to publish it. It's all poetry based, and it's about a mouse and a bear.
Right.
And it's all different stories that the mouse and the bear go on adventures with. So who knows? We'll see.
Is it aimed for like babies or?
No, I would say like 5 to 10-year-olds maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's any publishers out there, you know who to contact. Yeah, I'm sure you must know a lot of people in that.
Do you know what? In that
world.
field, I don't know anyone. So I might just put it out there and say, anybody wants to publish my book?
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah, who knows? We're talking to Jodie Prenger later. She's had a book out. I'll ask her if she's got any tips
And
for
she's
you.
from Blackpool too.
Yes. Yeah, she is.
Lots of people come out of Blackpool, you know. Lots of good ones.
I know. My boyfriend went to college with her.
Oh, amazing.
So, small world. So, we've had loads of questions come in from all different kinds of people. If you were stuck on a desert island with 3 cast recordings for the rest of your life, what ones would you choose?
These questions kill me because there's just so many. Chicago'd have to be one. I that opening section of the overture just got me every single night. It was the most exciting piece of music ever. And then Bugsy Malone, I might have to go with that. And Annie.
Oh, really?
I love Annie. I always wanted to be Molly when I was a kid. Never happened, but yeah.
Okay. I think you did Fame, didn't you? I think Fame would be one of mine. That's got some good songs on it.
That's got some great songs. Yeah, really good songs.
I did a radio thing years ago.
Grease 2.
Grease 2.
Come on.
Yes. Have you heard the London cast recording of that? About 6-7 years ago, they did a one night only with Aaron Sidwell and Ashley Gray.
Of Grease 2?
Grease 2. It's called Cool Rider. I don't know if it's released. I'll send it to you. I've got it on my computer.
Send it to me. Oh my gosh.
That's a brilliant.
I love that movie.
Yeah. I did a radio show a few years ago, and they asked me for my favourite overture, and I chose the overture to Chicago.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. You can't help but get excited when you hear it.
Yeah. Okay, what else have we got? If you could create a jukebox musical of any artist, who would you like to see?
Oh my word. The first person that just came in my head was Christina Aguilera.
Really?
I don't know why that came into my head. I just love her. I love her.
I would never have said that for you.
Yeah.
I'd never have thought it. Okay.
I'm an oldie as well. I love all the oldies. I love Etta James. I love Aretha Franklin. I love Karen Carpenter. But yeah, that's the first name that came into my head, so I'll stick with that. She did some really good hits though, Christina Aguilera.
She did.
Yeah. And I love the movie Burlesque. Everyone's going to switch off now. I've said that. But I love Burlesque.
No, I mean, Cher. I don't think anyone's going to switch off for Cher.
I love it. Cheesy as anything, but I love it.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix now, isn't it?
What is it?
Burlesque. I think so. Or maybe it's on Amazon.
And
it's on one
Coyote
of them.
Ugly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Coyote Ugly. It was such a good film with great music.
Was it
Why did
Leanne
they never turn that
Rimes?
into a musical? They should have turned that into a musical. And I always said, oh, sorry, Ed, I've remembered one more. Sister Act 2.
Oh.
I mean, that has got to be above everything, Sister Act 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that in terms of film and cast recording.
Cast recording, turn it into a musical, somebody, because I've been saying it for years and years. That needs to be a musical. It would be amazing.
But it's like Sister Act, they couldn't get the rights to any of the songs, so it's all completely different. So
yeah, it's got to be those songs in that movie, hasn't it?
The one I've been screaming about for years that I want to see on stage is Labyrinth.
That would be insane.
I mean, it would have to be a huge, like Drury Lane production.
Yeah, it'd be very dark.
But I think that would be amazing. So
there's always one part I've always wanted to play, and it's only for basically to sing the one song that I love the most, which is Victor Victoria. Not many people know it, but the one song, Jazz Hot, I've wanted to just sing that my whole career. And nobody's ever put that show on anywhere.
It was on, I saw it maybe 5 years ago at Southwark Playhouse, maybe?
Was it?
I can't remember who was in it, but yeah, I definitely saw it.
I'd love to be in that. I might be too old now though, but... Maybe
when you do an Instagram live, find a backing track and sing it.
No, are you kidding? I'm scared singing on stage in front of people, let alone on Instagram.
Would it be, I don't know, do you find it easier to sing now on, I'm not going to ask you to, but is it easier to sing in front of people than it is to a camera, knowing there are people there?
I've never done it. I've never sung. You know, some people put their camera up and sing songs. I've never, ever done it. And I don't think I ever could or ever will. I am terrified of singing on stage. I mean, it's ridiculous because I've done so many shows, but it just, my nerves, I really suffer with my nerves. When I did Millie, there was one song in particular, the finale song, and when I went to hit the top note at the end, sometimes I hit it, sometimes it was horrendous, but I would always have to have Richard Meek and Michael Colborne in the wings, like stood there with big smiles on their faces to kind of G me on to do it. Otherwise, I was just so scared. Isn't it ridiculous? Yeah. Crazy.
Well, it's live theatre, though. Well, maybe that's something you can work on in isolation.
Maybe kidding.
Work on your nerves.
Never.
And do a little song.
Never
on
happening.
Instagram.
Not happening.
Okay, all right. I'm going to let you go because we've got our next guest coming up. Thank you so much. It's so lovely to talk to you, as always.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Lots of love,
I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I do love Hayley. Hello, everybody. I'm not sure what happened there. I think Instagram Live you can only do for an hour. I'm not too sure. Okay, so everybody's coming back. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not very good with Instagram, so I believe as it's dead on an hour since we started, you can only do an hour. But someone who can probably tell us more about that is Marisha Wallace, who is going to join us now. Hello!
Hey, how are ya?
I'm good, you?
I'm good. Yeah, Instagram Live. I'm the queen of Instagram Live. It goes off after an hour.
Oh, okay.
I have to like reboot. But it's
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I panicked then. How are you?
I'm good. I just came from a 3-mile walk to Waitress, which was great.
Nice.
Got some
How was
groceries.
Waitrose?
Got some exercise. It
Everyone
was nice.
distancing?
No, which I was like, well, they were and they weren't. They were at Waitrose.
Right.
But as I was walking like through Greenwich to get to Waitrose, people were still like crowding up on the sidewalks and stuff. But what do you do?
Did you go to the one?
And everything.
I used to live by the Waitrose, by the sail loft.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
on
in
the river.
Greenwich. I think there's the only one there, right?
The one on the river.
The big one, yeah. On the river.
Yeah, I used to live in the building next to it.
Oh, nice. I love this area. It's the best.
It's lovely,
It's
isn't
awesome. It's stunning. Yeah. They've closed off all the walkways now, though.
Oh.
So, like, you used to be able to, there was like a little pub that had seating outside. That people
Yeah.
that. Cut that off, close off any place where you can really sit. They don't want you sitting.
Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
They don't want to. Greenwich is such a nice place to just go and sit.
Yeah. But there's still some like sitting places and people are sitting, but you know.
Yeah. How are you keeping in lockdown? What are you doing to help survive?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing the most actually. Today was like my light day, but I've been vocal coaching. I've been doing private lessons. I've been doing master classes for kids. Like yesterday I did a dance with me. I taught them the choreography from Aladdin. It was like 100 kids on Zoom, but it was beautiful. Like to see them dancing in their rooms or in their garages, like full out. It's been a beautiful time, even though it's been a tough time. It's actually been kind of beautiful just to get back to like the basics, really.
Yeah.
And I have a teaching degree, so I have taught for years before I started performing. So it's kind of nice to get back to doing it and to doing it online, which I had never done before.
No.
So I'm loving it. I absolutely loving it. And I'm connecting to my fans in a different way now. Yeah. Almost in a way that I think will last longer because we went through this together. So it's been really, really great. I get to FaceTime my family. That's the only hard part, is that I'm so far away from my family. But
do you think this is going to change the way we do theatre and live performance going forward? I feel like everyone's really embraced the idea of this online concerts, and do you think that's going to become, like, even after we get out of lockdown, do you think people are going to still keep doing it?
I think we're going to have to, because I think theater is going to be the very last thing that opens back up, because just because the nature of it, you're sitting this close to like someone in a theater.
People aren't going to want to do it, are they?
People, I think the only way they can is to maybe have seats in between, which is not, they're all coming in with lots of options, which is good. They're going to do half capacities, seats in between. We've been hearing a lot of things of how they're going to try to make Hairspray work in the
Coliseum,
in this thing. But people are missing that live interaction. And as a performer, it's kind of hard. Like, I love doing my concerts online, but you don't get applause. You can't feel what they're feeling. Zoom is kind of nice because at least you can kind of see and turn it all on. You can kind of hear. But what I am happy about is that the comments that I get afterwards, after we do it, and people are just so happy that we are still doing it. Because a lot of artists are having a tough time and they don't even want to perform. They're not even inspired. They just want to sit, and that's okay as well. And that's something that I've also been kind of saying, is that it's okay to just stop. It's okay to not want to do a dance class, be out on the cameras. Some people just need to stop and just take it
Yeah,
in.
we all have different days, don't
Yeah.
we? So if you wake up one day and don't want to do anything, don't.
Yeah.
Which is nice because we do have that freedom now to
Yeah.
say, well, you know, today I'm just going to sit in bed and read a book, or
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
it's
going to watch
okay.
TV.
Yeah, like I talked to Rachel Tucker, and she was like, I'm just spending time with my son and going on bike rides and just living my life for the first time, because we have sacrificed so much of our personal time to do what we love. So now it's time to feed back into ourselves, build ourselves up, because when it does go back again, it's going to be like, phew.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, you were in the new film of Aladdin,
Yeah.
which is Disney. Have you got Disney Plus since it's come out?
Oh, I got Disney Plus the first day it came out because I was in LA when it came out.
Okay.
So I got it then, and then I've been using it on a VPN.
Okay, right.
Ever since, and then when it came here, I was like, no, everyone get to experience the amazing.
And have you got any recommendations for people? Some of your favorites on Disney Plus?
Encore. Watch Encore.
Now, everybody's been talking about this. Am I right in saying it's the kids that were in films or shows like Bugsy Malone, and now they're adults and they're redoing it? Okay, so what is it? Because I've been telling everyone this.
So it's like adults go back to their old high school and put on the show that they did in high school.
Oh, okay.
It's incredible.
Okay, and is it like, Kristen Bell?
Yeah, Kristen Bell does it, but like there's the Anything Goes episode is incredible. The Beauty and the Beast episode is insane. So good. They're all good. Oh my God. The Anything Goes one got to me because it was like old Black people, which is like, they look like my aunts and uncles. And they're like singing Anything Goes. It just made me cry. You'll cry every episode. It's so good.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Oh, it's so good.
What else is there to watch on there? Any other recommendations?
I've been going back and watching all the Toy Stories. I watched all 4 of them and cried the whole time.
I'm not sure. I've definitely seen 1 and 2. I'm not sure if I've seen 3, and I definitely haven't
Watch
seen
3 and 4. It's so good. 3 and 4 is great. And then what else is good on there?
I'm writing down all these recommendations.
Parent Trap. Bomb.
Parent Trap. I'm not sure I've ever seen it.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah?
With her terrible British accent. And it's so good.
Now, we're talking about Hairspray. That was obviously, was it due to open next week?
Yeah.
I think it was due to open next week.
Oh, yeah.
No. But obviously that's not happening, but it has been rescheduled for September.
Yes.
So it's now going to run from the 1st of September for 10 weeks at the London Coliseum. And you just started rehearsals, hadn't you? Like first day?
The crazy part is I didn't even get to start rehearsal because I was on tour. So I was coming into rehearsal late anyway. And then I got sick the last day of my tour. I was sick, so sick. Like, I think I had COVID, to be honest.
Oh, shit.
But I couldn't get tested. It was at the very beginning. Like, no one could do anything. I was sick for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I just got better on my own. But like my fever was insane. Like my mom was almost going to fly here because I was really sick. But then I got better. But yeah, it was crazy. So I didn't go into rehearsal because I didn't want to get anyone sick. I was like, even if it's just the flu or a sinus infection or whatever, I was like, I'm just not going to go. And then by the time I was trying to get back, I wouldn't have been able to go back because I was sick for like 2 weeks. But I didn't go. So it got canceled.
And the tour, did you manage to do everywhere except for London?
No, I didn't do Lichfield and London. Yeah.
Okay. And are you hoping to reschedule those?
We're hoping to reschedule them. It's just a crazy time right now, so we don't want to schedule anything until we know.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked that Hairspray has rescheduled. I'm grateful. And we're just praying. It's going to be beautiful when we do it. I'm just going to say when, not if. When we do it, because it will be that first, everyone's in tears.
It's going to be, I think the way it's going to start is with a select few productions.
Yeah.
And I think Hairspray is one of those. It's a huge venue. They can probably.
That's what you heard. Select production.
Oh, I've not heard it.
Oh.
But I'm assuming they're not going to reopen everything straight away. It's probably going to filter through. So they're probably going to start with the big ones like Phantom and Les Mis and something like Hairspray. I imagine it's a
Well,
really
the good
nice.
thing is the Coliseum is big enough to social distance.
Yeah.
So you could put seats in between, or people can be. It's big. The space is big enough. So that's what we're hoping. I mean, we really don't know anything, so we're just like.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Now we've had loads of questions come in from people online. One I'm liking right now is, if you were stuck on a desert island with 3 cast recordings, what are your top 3?
Oh, my top Dream Girls for sure, because that's an insane category. I love that one. I love Rent.
Yes.
Cast recording. That one definitely. And what else? Oh my God, I love them all. What's one I used to listen to all the time? The ones on this island cast recording.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Incredible. The old one and the new one, but the old one, yeah.
What else have we got? Gender swapping. If you could play a role with the opposite sex.
Oh, I just did this. Playbill asked me to do a celebrity self-tape.
Okay.
And gender swap. So I did the genie and Aladdin, and I posted it on my Instagram, so you go check it out. It's so fun.
Oh, amazing.
It's incredible.
And one more. Oh, funny on-stage moments. Everyone wants to hear about these.
Oh my God, funny on-stage moments. There's been so many. Well, I mean, for me or for the cats?
Were there any in Waitress? People here love Waitress.
Well, here's a good Waitress one. So remember when all the Jennas went down and they canceled the show?
Yes.
They asked me to go tell the audience that the show was canceled.
How did that go
First
down?
they asked David Hunter and he said no. And then they asked Joel Montague and he said no. Joel just joined the cast like the week before. He was like, no. And then I was like, you know what? I'll do it. And then I go out there and I tell them. And there's like, you only can go to the right don't go to the stage left because it's locked. But I didn't know that because I've never been out in front of the curtain before. And then, or you could go, they say go left. And everyone's like, whatever you do, don't let Marisha go left. And they told me still. And they were like, don't go left. I was like, okay. But I'm literally like delivering this news. I'm like, okay, trying to get my words right. And then I tell everybody, I'm like, okay, it's closing, blah, blah. So what do? I go off left.
Oh, no.
And then I'm like, I can't get out.
Were people okay about it? Did they understand?
Back across the stage to the other side.
I had that before once at Les Mis when they had to cancel it because of flooding, and they waited till everybody was seated, and everybody goes crazy about why didn't you just tell us? But for health and safety, really the best way to tell everybody at the right time is to make sure everybody is sat down. I think that really is the safest way to.
Also, we didn't know. We were like literally trying. We tried everything to get that show up that day, like to the very last minute. We were like everything, and then also we had time difference problems because we have to ask people in America things about Waitress, and the times are different, and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning there, and it's like so it's like it's nuts, but we survived.
All good. So what have you got coming up? Any big online things that you want to tell us about?
Yes, really big. My master class is Sunday, next week. So next Sunday is only £20 for 3.5 hours of class. We're gonna be dancing, singing, Q&As, audition, prep workshop. Just all me for 3.5 hours. It's only £20, and a portion of the proceeds is going to Acting for Others.
Right.
So it's really cheap, I think, for 3.5 hours of instruction.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And everyone will be together on Zoom, and we're just gonna have a great time. People get to sing for me, and just it's gonna be a great day. I'm excited to do a big clinic because we would do a clinic like this on when we're out, and it would be all day. So we're doing an online clinic.
Right. And how can people book for that?
So you can just go to my Instagram. The link is in my bio. Just go there and book. It's gonna be a really, really awesome thing. And then also on Thursday this week, we have All the World's a Stage, which is a Shakespeare day. It's gonna be is Shakespeare Day, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a 12-hour-long free music festival, like a theater festival. So David Hunter's doing it. I'm doing it. And it'll just be, it's on their website, theaterfortheday.com. I don't know. I'll put it in my Instagram story.
Yeah.
And then you can see it. But yeah, it's going to be all day long, 12 hours, but all disciplines. So not just theater or just singing.
Yeah, it's
They'll
like
have
poetry
singing, playing,
and
puppetry, artistry. Yeah, all day long. It's going to be a really cool thing. All the World's a Web is what it's called.
All the World's a Web. Okay, great. Be sure to check that out. All right, I will let you go.
Amazing.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
Bye.
And have a great day. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so next up, I'm really excited about this one. Aimie Atkinson. Let me see if we can get her on the line. Here she is. Let's see if we can connect. Non-stop today, isn't it? Hello!
Oh, hello!
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm getting a bit of a dry throat now.
I know, I bet you are.
I've been talking for like... I know, I'm starting to think, God, 3.5 hours I'm committed to for this. I'm not even sure. Don't know when I'm going to go to the toilet, but...
You don't need to go to the toilet. Hold it in.
Oh, I'll try. How are you surviving lockdown?
I'm good. I'm all right, you know. I mean, the first week, it was a bit of, I think it was like a shock. We didn't really know what was going on, kind of getting into the rhythm of things. But now, I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a bit like that. It's like, oh, I'm kind of used to this now.
I know.
Kind
you
of,
get in a zone, don't you?
Yeah, having to go back into the world, and I'm not too sure if I'm even up for it now. And when you go out to the shops, everyone's like, there's not many people around, and everyone's keeping their distance, and there's no one touching you. And
exactly.
You know, I hope, if nothing else, we learn to keep a bit of a distance from people in the streets, because
no touching.
I know, I hate that about people. But people are lovely, don't get me wrong.
Yes, we like people.
Now, I want to talk to you about Pretty Woman, because I adored the show.
Oh.
I've seen it twice, and I hope it's not the last I see of it. When was it meant to be booking until? When's it currently booking until?
Well, we're a limited season, so we're only booking until January 2021. So it's an interesting one. We're not sure yet what's going on.
Okay.
But we'll definitely
Fingers crossed it comes back.
Yeah.
Because, I really liked it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, really, really liked it. But the one thing that concerns me about the show is that massive hole in the floor. Is that not an accident waiting to happen? And has anyone fallen down it yet?
No one's fallen down it, which you really think they would have. I have to say, even myself, because I walk around it so many times and I back up a lot, and I'm still scared about it.
Right, and I understand you've got the orchestra pit in there, but surely you can just have them off the side of the stage. Like,
yeah, I guess.
I don't know how that got past health and safety.
I'm not sure, but no one's gone down it yet, thank God.
Okay, thank God. But no, is it a fun show to be a part of?
Oh, it's the best. Honestly, it's just been a dream of a role and a dream of a show. It's just so much fun. Like, to play Vivian, she's such a funny character, and I just love playing her every day. Well, not anymore, but when we were.
And I love that when you got the part, did you think, like, this is a huge shoes to fill with Julia Roberts having played the part? Did you find it pressured? And I mean, you really looked like you gave it your own, and you weren't trying to copy her, which I think is the only way you can successfully have done that. And I think you've done it so right. And I really thought it was a great portrayal that you gave. But was that scary?
Do you know what? I wasn't scared, because I thought, well, I'm nothing like Julia Roberts. I don't look like her. I don't sound like her. And I just thought no one can compete with her. She is, in her own right, legendary, and what she did with that role is, everyone remembers that. So I thought, well, I can't do that, so I've just got to kind of bring my own into the part, and that's what I did. And I thought, well, that's all I can do, and if people love it or hate it, there's not a lot I can do about that. And I just kind of went for it, and it's still got the essence of what Julia Roberts did, but kind of with my own little spin on it. Yeah.
Well, I love it, for one, and I really hope we'll get to see it again.
Oh, I hope so.
Now, obviously, I've got to ask you about Six, because there's a lot of Six fans here watching. I was watching last night. I don't know how I got in some loop, and it just came up. The night that Toby Marlowe had to step in as one of the queens. Can you just talk me through, like, what happened that day? And it must have been crazy.
we had a lot of illnesses, I believe, and a lot of injuries were happening. Because, as you know, it's a really difficult show. I know it's only 5 minutes, but it's like doing a marathon every day. It's so intense. So at the time, we were having a lot of problems with injury and illness, and people going on holiday, which is, of course, the right thing to do in their contract. So I think that particular day, we had people on holiday that couldn't come back because they were abroad, and then we had people who were really sick. All the swings were on, and it just got to the point where we were like, there's no way we can do this. And then Toby just went, I'll do it. And Genesis, actually. So we had Genesis come back to play Cleves and Toby to play Pa.
And how much rehearsal did he get for that?
Nothing.
Because, like, even though he's written it and seen it a million times, I imagine the choreography and stuff, like the blocking even, he'd probably never done something like that.
No, well, we did it like a concert version. So he did a bit of the choreography where he did and what he knew. But mostly we just stood at mic stands. But it was really good. He did such a good job. And I think like people really responded to it and really loved it. So
saved the day.
Yeah, it's completely saved the day.
And have you learned any new skills while in quarantine? Is there anything that you've picked up?
No. More. Me and Tom Gribby, who I live with, we've just been working out the whole time. That's all we've really been doing. I wish I want to learn something new, but at the moment I'm not really feeling motivated to do anything. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that mode of just like, I'm just enjoying the rest, because I haven't had a break in 15 years. So I'm just kind of really enjoying not doing a lot.
Yeah. I'm reading a lot of books, I'm finding.
What are you reading?
At the moment, I've just started a John Grisham, The Guardians.
I've not read any of his.
It's really good. The best one I've read is called Camino Island. If you like crime dramas, that's really good. I read. So this whole quarantine thing, I've been saying to people, it's a bit like, you know, when you say, "Oh, I'll do that when I retire." You know, I'll read all these books I've got when I retire, when I've got time. It's kind of like we've been given this window of retirement where we can do everything that we've never had the time to do.
It's true.
So I've just read the Wicked book, the novel.
Oh, that was one of my favourite books. I was obsessed with Wicked when I was younger, and I love that book.
It's really different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dark. It's really dark. But thoroughly enjoyed it because I was so obsessed with the show. You know, I really enjoyed delving into that kind of world.
But I've had that book for probably 10 years and never got around to reading it. Yeah, 600 pages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read it in about a week.
You like it?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would have liked it had I not have seen the musical.
I agree, yeah.
I don't think it's a very good book.
Yeah.
In terms of how the story connects and but yeah, as somebody who's a big fan of the musical, it was great to see how the characters are different and how it all changes. So yeah, I'm glad I got to do that. I'm making my way through quite a few books. But yeah, sometimes you just think, oh, I can't be bothered to get out of bed today. And
yeah, it's hard to get motivated, I think, because you don't have anything to like not look forward to, because that sounds really, you know, depressing, but like there's nothing in the foreseeable future, so you kind of don't really have anything to work towards. So it's it's a hard
especially for me, like as a blogger, I kind of look for things that are happening in the theatre world that are interesting that I can talk about, and even news stories about shows. And it's like, well, like I used to get hundreds of emails every day about shows, and now I'm like, none.
I know, it's so
So it's really weird. But yeah, so how do you stay motivated?
Well,
exercise, I guess you're doing a lot of.
A lot of exercise, because you know I've got to fit back in that costume. At some point that is going to have to go back on me. So I'm like, I can't let myself go too much, you know.
Yeah.
Because in the first week, all we were doing was eating biscuits and drinking wine. So that's had to stop. But yeah, working out is really helping. we have like a bit of a structure. Like structure is key to the day. So we'll get up, we'll have breakfast, we'll then go and work out. We'll take the dogs out. You know, we've got a little bit of a plan going.
Okay.
And that's really helping.
Yeah, I need some structure. I'm trying to get a cat.
Are you?
I've been wanting to get a cat for ages, an older cat. And I kind of think, well, now's the perfect time because it can get used to us while we're here. But none of these like rescue centres are open.
Are they not?
So, well, no, not really. They don't seem to be.
I wonder if there's anyone around your area, like on Gumtree or something, who's got a...
Well, there's a cat at the end of my road that keeps coming up to me. So when there's no one around, I might just grab it. It's a nice little ginger cat. So I might go for that. People have sent in loads of questions. And my favourite one that I'm asking people is, if you were stuck on a desert island with 3 cast recordings, what would you take?
I would take... Oh, that's a good one, that is. Miss Saigon, I think. The original London cast. This is awful, isn't it? But I'd probably take 6 to be like a bit more upbeat.
Okay.
Third one. In the Heights.
Yeah.
I like that album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
That's a tricky one.
What about if you could play a gender swapping role? What male role would you like to have a go at?
I was saying this the other day. So when the first musical I ever saw was Joseph and the Untitled Chapter, and I wanted to be Joseph, so I used to pretend that I was like I used to make my bunk beds into like a jail, and I used to sing, what's this big song? Close every door. So I want to be Joseph.
Do you know what? Joseph is a really underrated show, I think. People always slag it off, but I think it's great. Did you see the Palladium version last year?
No, I didn't see it. I think I was doing 6. We missed it.
It was really different, really good though. Be interesting to see. Yeah, it's coming back this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the way they did, because it had Sheridan Smith in it, didn't it, as the narrator, and it was kind of her dressing up with the kids, as though it was like playtime with the kids, where she's telling them the story and she's dressing up as all the different characters. It was a different take on it, but hopefully that'll come back. Who knows what's going to come back and what isn't right now. It's
tricky,
scary time. So before I let go, have you got any advice for people in lockdown, like how to stay home, stay safe? What can people be doing from home if they're getting a bit bored and down?
Well, you know what? I think it's amazing that in the time that we're living in, we can do things like this. How incredible is that?
Yeah.
So although I have to say, I've been online constantly and my eyes are absolutely killing. So maybe don't spend the whole day online, but there's so many amazing like workshops and classes and things to get involved with. So for me, I've got to take a bit of my own advice. Actually, I want to keep singing and keep doing things, and just you don't want to come out of this and not have learned anything. So definitely learning something new is a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us, though.
Thank you for having me.
And have a great rest of your Sunday. And stay home and stay safe.
You too. See you
nice
very
to speak
soon,
to you.
I hope.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. What's this? Oh, all the questions come up on here. So I'm still learning how to use this. It's all a bit weird. Right, so next up, we are going to be chatting to Jordan Luke Gage, hopefully. Oh, here he is. I should really do this without saying it all out loud, but it's the only way I'm managing to talk through these things. Hello!
Hi, did I jump too quickly off?
No, it's all right. I think I tried to grab you at the same time.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Do you want to do a little introduction for those people who don't know me, or shall I just introduce myself?
You can introduce yourself.
I'm Jordan Luke Gage. Hi, everybody who doesn't know me.
I'm sure everyone knows who you are. So you are. Oh, there's an echo there. You were doing Anne Juliet in the West End before all of this happened.
Before this.
How was that? As a show?
Oh my god, amazing! Have you seen the show?
I've seen Act 1 because the night I kept. No, I didn't leave. There was a.
Oh, was it when the sound desk like exploded?
I don't know. I don't think you were on.
Okay. Maybe I was on holiday.
Yeah.
But yeah. When I was on holiday, the sound desk failed or something. There was like an error,
Right.
Was it just as Romeo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
I couldn't work out what happened, but yeah, no, I loved the first act. I just haven't had a chance to go back and see the second. How does that compare to something like Bat Out of Hell?
Oh my God, so different. I mean, just in the fact that it's like a comedy, it's so funny. And I've never done a comedy before, so like that has been so much fun to do. The part is ridiculous. I mean, it's hard to say because you haven't seen it, and that's when it gets really ridiculous, is the second half. It kind of takes this whole turn, and Romeo's a bit of like a douchebag. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah. So it's just so much fun to just play a character that is like so crazy and out of the box, and yeah. And
it seems to have got a real fan base behind it.
Oh my God, so quickly.
Why do you think that is?
I think because people know the music. Like, there's so many different generations. Like, this music goes from like 30 years ago up till like now with Ariana Grande. So there's just such a wide demographic for its audience. So like the people come knowing the songs, and then also the more, I guess, serious theatre goers kind of want to know what the whole Romeo and Juliet twist is going to be about. So it is such a genius production. Like, I'm so proud to be a part of it. Like, when I read the script, I was just like, this is like nothing I've ever seen on the stage before. I thought it was just the most amazing thing. So I think people have just taken to it the way that we all have as well as a cast. Yeah.
And for people that haven't seen it, what is the story?
So it kind of, so it's called And Juliet because it follows Juliet's life at the end of the play. So Juliet is just about to take her own life because she's realized that Romeo's taken his own life, but she actually thinks, what if I actually just live my life instead? Like, I've known this guy for 4 days. So I've got my whole life ahead of me. He's my only boyfriend that I've ever had. So it kind of follows her journey to finding love and self-discovery, and yeah, she just meets loads of different interesting characters along the way. There's so many different themes of LGBT themes and kind of, what's it called? Like problems within the marriage. What is that word? Why can't I think of that word?
Marital problems?
Marital problems. Yeah, so there's just so many different themes. So it's I think it's a real roller coaster.
And we've had some questions come in for you. Slightly random one. How do you deal with stress?
Okay. Exercise actually is probably my one thing. Like, I always find that when I do exercise, the rest of the day I feel my head is just so much clearer.
Yeah.
And like, that's not me saying that everyone needs to get up every day and work out, because I do definitely have days where I'm like, I can't be bothered and I want to just sit and watch Netflix. But it does, that's kind of my way for dealing with stress and anxiety. Yeah. I get really like anxious as well before performances. So not like just an everyday performance, but like if it's the first night of a new show, I'll be like super anxious. So I have to just make sure that I like go for a run that day and like get myself like feeling calm. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing. Or just finding something that kind of makes you zen, like cooking. I've got way more into cooking lately during this isolation. Yeah.
I think exercise is a good one. I mean, I'm not a big exerciser at all, but
no.
The good thing about all this is there's so many friends that are starting to do like yoga classes on Zoom and all of these different things. So,
and even just going for a walk. That's still
social distancing though.
Social distancing walk to Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah. It's an interesting time, isn't it? But thank God that we live in a time where we've got social media like this, where we can stay in touch, and you know, theatre can live on in a way.
It's kind of inspiring to see how like the theatre industry has just come together so much. Like all of these private concerts in people's living rooms. Like I did one a couple of weeks ago, and it was like the weirdest thing ever. But it's so nice to still give people something to watch and look forward to. So yeah, I think it's kind of, I'm amazed and surprised at how the industry is still kind of carrying on during this time?
I think it's testament to how actors and creative people are. Like, it's in the blood. Like, these people can't not.
We can't
perform.
stay. Yeah.
They can't not sing. They can't not. So it really shows that people aren't doing this for the paycheck. They're doing this because they can't do anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice that at least there is an outlet for these people to be able to do like things like this and on screens and Zooms and house parties and all these other things.
Yeah.
I've probably spoken to more people since I've been in isolation than I would have normally.
Me too, and friends that like I kind of lost contact with as well. Yeah, it's been so nice. We've done like those Zoom quizzes with like the Battle of Hell cast. We've got one tonight, and like I've not seen most of them for about a year, because when you do finish shows, you think everyone's going to still stay in touch, and you normally stay in touch with a few people, but people have their lives, and you kind of just go about your own lives. But yeah, it's really nice to kind of like refresh those friendships again.
Yeah, and I found even people that I've known for 10 years, I found I'm connecting with a lot more, and actually getting to know them better than I have in 10 years.
Before, yeah.
So I think it's interesting the way friendships are being affected. Like, there are some people that were really good friends that I've not really spoken to, and other people that I didn't speak to a lot. I'm now speaking to a lot, so it's really interesting.
I guess it depends on how people like deal with this like alone time. Yeah, like some people just kind of like, I guess, being left alone, and then this is the time where the majority of people like are constantly texting each other, like, let's do stuff, let's chat. So yeah, it's kind of, there's the two different sides of it. It's really interesting, but I kind of feel like this is, depending on how you look at it, I'm kind of seeing it as almost a positive situation. Don't get me wrong, the virus is not positive. Like I wish this was not happening, but I think we can kind of use this time to like home in on things and focus on areas that maybe we haven't given attention before, like relationships, or maybe like projects that we maybe didn't have the time to work on before. I'm like playing way more guitar than I ever have, so that's really great. So yeah, I think it's I was
saying before with Aimie Atkinson, it's a bit like going into retirement. Like all the things, like books that I've been meaning to read for years.
Right.
It's like, well, I'll read that when I retire, when I've got time. But now we've been given this chunk of time. I think we really need to appreciate it for what it is. It's an opportunity to really do some things that we wouldn't normally be able to do. So
absolutely, yeah.
I'm trying to make a sock monkey.
Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. It's looking good.
Well,
I think you're being too hard on yourself.
I gave up because I thought it wasn't, but now I'm...
No, it really is. Like, you've got the whole base and the legs. How do you get the arms on?
I mean, this is the problem. You kind of just have to sew them on, but I don't know how...
What, you like fill it with... What do you fill it with? Like...
Yeah, so there's like...
cotton wool, okay.
Stuff, but...
I think stick with it.
I'm going to have to, I think. I'm going to have to finish it. Although I haven't stitched it very well, so I think this is going to be my practice sock monkey. And then once I'm done, I'm going to.
You'll be selling them. You'll be doing a whole business by the end of lockdown.
Yeah, maybe I could give them away as prizes. Okay, so we've had some questions from people as well. Any funny moments on stage? Oh God, what's this to me?
Well, one night, so in And Juliet, one night, my entrance, I fly in, I kind of ascend from heaven, and I think something went wrong with the automation desk. I don't even know if I'm really supposed to be saying this, but I kind of just fell at about 3 times the speed that I normally do, and everybody on stage was freaking out, and me, like, I thought if I kept falling I would have just smashed the ground. It could have been really bad, but luckily they pulled like the lever at the last minute, and then we had a show stop, but I was hanging there facing the audience while the show was stopping and the curtain hadn't come in. So I was just kind of hanging there staring at the audience. I think I was like cracking some jokes to the audience because I didn't know how to cope with it. But yeah, that was very funny. I also got stuck in the bench. Most of the funny things normally involve me getting stuck in something, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
What about in Bat Out of Hell?
Bat Out of Hell, so one night that was a very energetic show and very energetic role, and I one day slid across the stage and fell into the pit, but my hand was still holding myself up. So my hand was on the stage, my body was hanging in the pit, and I just carried on singing the song, but like half hanging in the pit. And Christina Bianco came over and like pulled me out. And yeah, it's always me getting in some kind of mess. I'm quite clumsy, but
you hear a lot of stories about people falling into the pit. It's a dangerous place. Yeah. It happens more than you think.
See, I've never experienced it except for that. Well, when I was really young, we did High School Musical, like at our local drama school, and the Troy Bolton fell into the pit, and the whole pit went on fire, which was the scariest thing as like a 6-year-old boy on the stage. And like we just suddenly saw the piano was like on fire. I don't know what happened. It must have sparked. The whole audience got like evacuated. It was mad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the only other time I've seen it happen. Luckily, mine wasn't as bad.
That was a crazy one. Yeah. Now, And Juliet is a jukebox musical. If you could create a jukebox musical of any artist...
Easy. You said it earlier, actually. It's Labyrinth. Yeah, David Bowie, he's like one of my favourite artists. But if I could make like a movie into a musical, it would be that, 100%. Yeah. And the same, what you said, like Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, like some massive theatre. And I would make it kind of like an immersive experience and maybe have like a whole labyrinth maze as you go in. It could be like, it could be madness. I think it would be great.
That would be great. I watched it the other day. I watch it every few months. It's such a good film.
Yeah. Do you like The Never-Ending Story as well?
Not as much.
Okay. Yeah, it's not as good, but it's that same genre, isn't it? I watched it yesterday. But yeah.
No, very much the same. I've got a T-shirt with the worm from Labyrinth on it.
Oh yeah.
That says "Come inside and meet the missus."
Oh, nice.
But I'd love, and I interviewed Beverly Knight a few months ago, and I said she'd be a brilliant Jared if they were going to role reversal it.
Yeah.
I think she'd be great.
Oh gosh, she would actually.
Role.
That's a good idea to role reverse.
Yeah. These days, doesn't really matter, does it?
I really want them to do a role reversal of 6.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah, which one would you play?
I think I'd be Catherine Howard, Aimie Atkinson.
Okay.
That's Catherine Howard, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be Amy's part. Yeah.
Maybe we can do a Zoom concert.
Maybe we will.
Maybe. There's loads of...
we'll arrange something.
Who knows what might happen. If you could be on a desert island with 3 cast recordings, if you had 3 cast recordings for the rest of your life,
okay,
what would you choose?
And Juliet, just because it's full of bops, and it's kind of, you're getting 2 in 1 with the whole pop songs as well. So definitely that. And then I think Rent, because Rent was one of the first shows I did. I feel like when I listen to that, it's really like nostalgic. I love that music so much. And I think the story behind it as well is just like the fact that obviously Jonathan Larson like passed away the night before the first show. Yeah. Like that's so tragic. So yeah, love that soundtrack. And then I think something like a little bit more legit, like maybe Into the Woods. Love that show, love that soundtrack.
Yeah, it's a long one as well, so you get.
It's a long one. You get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like always Sunday in the Park with George, just purely for the song Sunday, because I love that song. That's one of my favourite musical theatre songs ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're doing Into the Woods at the Old Vic this Christmas, I think.
Are they?
I think so.
Oh, I hope that still all goes ahead. Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And Sunday in the Park with George as well. When's that meant to start? July? June?
July, yeah. Which will probably be delayed a little bit, maybe. We'll see.
We don't know, do we? That's the problem.
Stay hopeful.
So, before I let you go, have you got any advice for people?
Sorry. I've just seen somebody said Hadestown ? I completely forgot. Hadestown would definitely. So I'd have to get rid of one of the last ones and do Hadestown because that's my favourite show ever.
Okay. I didn't see it in the West End. I saw it on Broadway though.
Was it amazing on Broadway?
It was brilliant. Brilliant. And there was rumours that it was going to come back to the West End.
I feel like it will. I mean, because of the success it's had over there, and it was so great when I saw it here. I think it will probably come back maybe next year. I'm hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
So, any tips for people surviving isolation? What can people do?
I think find something that, like, distracts you, like for a few hours, whether that's like cooking or baking or
sock puppet.
A sock puppet, maybe learning like a musical instrument or a language, even like just doing something for a few hours a day. Like, of course, don't beat yourself up about sitting around watching movies. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I think if you give yourself an hour or two where you feel like you've done something productive, then you'll feel like you've achieved something that day. So
yeah,
no matter what it is, I think just like find something that you enjoy that distracts you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jordan.
Thanks
Have
for
a great
having me.
rest of your Sunday.
You too.
Speak to you soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. Right. Next up, we have, I believe, Steph Parry. Let's see if we can get her on the line. I'll take a sip of water while we're waiting. Hi!
Hiya!
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? Have you been going now for like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I know.
Have you been? Has your mum been bringing you tea, or is your mum's not there? Is she?
My mum's not there. No. So I've just got my water.
Do you need a wee?
Yes. Which, do you know what? I've been scrolling through, and when I got to you, I was like, right, I'm going to get Steph to tell her running down the road story for people that haven't heard it, while I quickly go to the toilet. So, Steph, tell us all about the time that you got called to famously run down the road.
Thank you, Ed, going for a win. So yeah, I was in 42nd Street musical. I was standby there, so I sat in the dressing room, not doing much apart from eating my dinner. And I got a phone call from my company manager, basically just checking to see if I was in the building, because 42nd Street was a rather large cast, so I don't think the company manager quite took in who was in that day. Yeah, and then a few minutes later, I got another call being like, "Can you run down the road to Mamma Mia?" And off I went. And I got to stage door, and the general manager was waiting there and was just like, "Can you do it? Can you go on for Donna right now?" And I just was like, okay. And Mamma Mia stopped for a grand total of 18 minutes. And within that time, I'd run down the road, got into a costume, into mics, my hair being done. I'd had time for a wee, just a little bit like what Ed's doing right now. Yeah, and then I was there, and that's my story. You're back.
There we go. I had to sing Happy Birthday twice, so it took me a bit longer than normal.
Yeah. You've heard that a million times, haven't you? So you know exactly what I was saying.
I have. I know all about it. I've tried, for everyone today that I'm talking to, I've tried to write a few points to talk to them about. All I've written down for you is what's for tea.
What's the tea?
Yeah.
We're doing a, you know, like the deliveries. We've just started getting Mindful Chef. We wanted to get Gusto. I know we've gone really classy. We wanted Gusto, but they weren't accepted any customers, so we've gone down the Mindful Chef route. So
and what's that all about?
It's basically like, I think their recipes are like, they've got like lots of veg and things, and I think they're kind of, it's like a healthy thing. My husband loves it.
So what? It's like they deliver it to you made.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So they send you like so it's like HelloFresh.
Right.
But supposedly a little bit better for you. So that's what we're doing tonight. So much to my husband's joy, we have a bean curry tonight.
Okay.
He's like, great. He's just saying yay from the next room.
So what? Do they just send you one meal?
No, so we've got three meals. Look at this. These people who have tuned in for musical theatre content are learning. You get 3 meals delivered. Yes, a week. Yeah, it's great.
So for anyone that doesn't know, since lockdown started, Steph has been going live on her Instagram. Started off every night, and now you're doing it. Now you're doing it twice a week.
Now I'm doing it twice a week because I was a little bit like, I mean, well, first of all, I was just like, I don't have enough content. And then because I think when I first started it, I just started it on a whim, and then now I'm a bit like, okay, I want to keep it fun, and and actually this Tuesday, what I thought would be fun, I don't know if this is a stupid idea, but I thought that I'd make it like a complete request thing, so that I'll get my YouTube going with karaoke and be like, right, what should we sing?
Did you ever do? I know I requested it once. Did you ever do Leave a Light On, Belinda Carlisle?
No, I didn't.
I'd love to hear that one.
Leave a light on for me.
I was doing a bit of a put some songs on YouTube before I started this, just because I'm not the most upbeat, happy person when I'm talking. So I was trying to play some music to get me going, and that came on.
Like what Tony Robbins does before he does he's a motivational speaker, and he apparently does that before he does like a conference. He's like, "What? Yeah, come on!" Before you went live.
Yeah, well, kind of. I just had a bit of Madonna and Belinda Carlisle playing, which was fun. So when do you do that now? Tuesdays and Saturdays?
I'm doing it Tuesdays and Fridays.
Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock
on Steph Parry's Instagram. Do check it out. It's 3 songs you do.
Just 3, yeah.
Yeah.
3 little up tempo, sing along, fun. It's definitely not my best work. I'm not gonna lie, but just like I don't know, just trying to keep the people smiling, and I don't know.
What are you doing in quarantine to keep yourself occupied and busy? And
I'm doing a lot of acting work. So I'm doing a lot of kind of because I've recently filmed my first TV show. I'm doing a lot with like working on scripts and things like that, and just trying to using my time to improve myself as an actor, basically, and so doing like a lot of like recording self-tapes and then kind of checking it back and things like that. Like that's the stuff I think that motivates me at the moment, and stuff that I can do, that I'm in control of, and that can hopefully make me be a little bit better when this is all over.
Yeah.
I also bought a ukulele.
Have you learned to play it?
Have I? Yeah, it's just sat on the table since it arrived. I bought it on a whim. I think I've had a few glasses of wine. I went, oh, I know, I'll buy a ukulele, and then I'm like.
Yeah, my boyfriend ordered a piano the other day when we were drunk.
I mean, that's good. But a ukulele, and I paid about 20 quid for it, and it is literally like, it might as well be an elastic band. I might as well have just got a box, cut a hole, and put some elastic bands. I'm just like, what should I do that for?
Yeah, I mean, 20 quid, you can't really expect too much, can you? Probably not going to be.
Experience with ukuleles, I don't really know what kind of level.
Did it come with a handbook on how to play it? No.
I just thought I'd get on YouTube. I mean, like I say, I don't know. I was literally thinking, oh, perhaps I'll do a little ukulele number in my next cabaret.
Maybe not.
Maybe we'll see.
So before all of this shut down, you were doing Mamma Mia the Party.
Yeah.
Which I'm yet to see, but I'm definitely going to come. That'll definitely reopen, won't it? That's not the kind of thing that's going to go anywhere. I don't imagine.
I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's I just think it's a case of when it's going to reopen.
And it's probably one of those, because of the way it's set out like a restaurant, they can like just take some seats away to make it more socially.
We were working the whole social distancing thing before we closed, and they were doing a lot. They put a lot of stuff in place to make it, to make it better for people, and they were spacing people out already, and so they have measures that they've already started using that will definitely be back in place, I'm sure, when we get back to it. So yeah, it's just a case of who knows at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that we will be back. So I mean, fingers crossed, because it is a lot of fun.
And what's the story about? So like, I've not seen it. What, for people that haven't seen it, how does it differ from Mamma Mia?
Well, it's a completely different storyline. It's like it's the story is that I play Kate, who worked on the Mamma Mia movie. So I worked in the costume department for Mamma Mia, or the film, and I went over to Greece and I met a local guy who owns a taverna, and then we got married, and then I was like, well, why don't we do a Mamma Mia the party night, and then the tourists will come. So that's what people come to. It's as if they're coming to Greece I'm Kate, who worked on the film 10 years ago, and they're getting the experience that people would get if they came to this imaginary taverna. But then stuff goes wrong, and my nephew has come to stay. He falls in love with my husband's daughter, who he doesn't approve. So there's all that. That's all kind of interwoven. And then the big Mamma Mia show is the big finale at the end.
So it's like what the people are there to watch. It's like the tribute act. That's the show part.
Yeah, so that's our finale, but that's the show, as if they're coming to watch it. Everything else, the first 2 acts, are meant to be like the story told through the medium of ABBA. But that's where we're like, when they're like, oh, we love the show, and it's like, well, there has been no show yet. The show's not till later, and people are like, oh, let's get it.
And how does a show like that differ? Obviously, it must be very different to just performing a normal show, because it's interactive and it's in a kind of dinner setting. I guess you've grown up on the kind of cabaret circuit, so it's probably easier for you to adapt to.
It's definitely like the cabaret side of things has definitely been a skill that's been helpful in this, because there's a lot of talking to the audience. There's a lot of like having a moment with an audience member who you have an expectation of what they might say back to you, but that doesn't mean they're going to say that. So it's always, it gives you that, I don't know, that ability to like think on your feet, I think. And I think cabaret has definitely helped with that. To break, because cabaret, there's a broken fourth wall, and you know, I'm terrible. I just chat away. You've not been to any of my cabarets, have you, in real life?
No.
No, you have. No. I hold a raffle.
You hold a raffle?
Yeah.
It's like a meat raffle.
We do a quiz, we do a raffle, we do like there's so many, like I'm always like, I want the audience to be a part of my cabaret. That's kind of what I love to do.
Okay.
And that's the same as like Mamma Mia, the party.
Yeah.
It's the audience are a part of it, so I guess it helps.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I've never known anyone do a raffle.
Yeah, I gave away a turkey and a ham.
Brilliant. Yeah. Not that you grew up in the pubs and clubs.
That's it. My mum and dad are a club singers, like, so. Yeah. That's my background.
Amazing.
A meat raffle.
I'm definitely coming to the next one if I can win a ham. Just before I let you go, if you were stuck on a desert island with 3 cast recordings, what would you take?
Well, it'd have to be Mamma Mia or some kind of ABBA-related goodness. I mean, I love 6.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Probably those 3.
Yeah.
I could bop around 6. I could have a cry to Dear Evan Hansen. And then I've got obviously ABBA, Mamma Mia to, you know.
I think I tried to pick ones that were really long on purpose. Right, nice. Like 6 is really short, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's only about 8 songs on the 6 album.
Well, I mean, for me, it's all about that. We're one of kind. But, you know, it's amazing.
The mega mix at the end. Love a mega mix.
I mean, they're just the first 3 that come to my head. I'll get off this now and go, damn it, I should have picked that. That would have made me seem so much more classy.
Oh, it's fine. After you talked about a ham and turkey raffle, I don't think you could sound any more classy.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think I've ruined that long ago.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. Be sure to tune in to Steph Parry's live streams on Tuesdays and Fridays for a bit of karaoke in the living room. Hey. And maybe a meat raffle. Who knows?
You never know. We can do it. We can do some kind of virtual raffle.
Yeah, why not? I'll look forward to it. All right, thanks so much. Have a great night, Steph.
Lovely to
speak to you soon. Bye. It seems another hour has passed and Instagram has out again. So we're here for hour 3 and now joined by Evelyn Hoskins. Hello, Evie. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. It keeps freaking me out. I didn't realise Instagram Live cuts off after an hour.
Oh, so you have to like...
So I have to keep doing it.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm kind of wondering what I've let myself in for. It's been like 2 hours, hour and a half to go. I feel like I'm doing a
Yeah.
telethon.
Brilliant. Yeah, you're like Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, that's what I was inspired by this.
Yeah, it's
Except
great
with
idea.
not Patti LuPone and people, but we've got Evelyn Hoskins, almost as high a caliber.
You've got some amazing people though. I saw Aimie and Steph.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It was really nice. Like everybody I asked said yes. So, and I guess, I mean, it's a bit hard to say no to things at the moment because what else are you doing? Although things are really picking up. Like people are becoming really busy.
Yeah, I am
with
actually
all
really,
this stuff. What have you got going on? Lots of Zooms and what are you doing?
I've been teaching, recording things. I'm on Cameo.
Oh, how's that going?
Yeah, fun. It's actually really fun. Yeah, it's just, like people are requesting songs that I don't know, which is interesting. So I'm having to like learn. Like someone asked for Six the other day, and I was like, this isn't really my casting, but I'll give it a go. But no, it's fun.
Okay, I'll have to think of some for you to do. I have to request you on Cameo. I remember saying to you when it was out, what was it? When Lazarus was out, the David Bowie one.
Oh, yes.
The Life on Mars.
I will have a look at that actually. Yeah.
I always said that would be perfect for you.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll pay for you to learn it.
I better get learning.
Yeah. How's things going in isolation? How are you staying positive? What are you doing to get through the days?
Lots of baking.
Okay.
And eating.
Yeah.
Obviously they come hand in hand, but one thing I'm trying to do is like compare my time with others, because I think the minute you start doing that, you feel bad for like not working out every day, or you know, and yeah, I'm just finding it. I'm just trying to like stay focused on my own. Time's just so weird, isn't it? I'm sure everyone said this to you today, but it's just like so bizarre, and like not being able to do because we love what we do.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's really hard.
Although I mean, things like this and just all of these like live living room concerts and everything. I've never seen so many people on Instagram Live at the same time. Just
exactly. Yeah.
It's,
I mean, it's great, and it's lovely to like chat to people as well, and you know, answer questions and just
And I was saying, even I'm finding I'm connecting more with people that I knew that I'd maybe see like if I was out at a party or in a pub, and now I'm talking to them every day.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really nice.
And family as well. Like
yeah. I've just seen my mum join, so I have to be careful about what I say. But yeah, luckily I'm not self-isolating with my family.
Nice. Where are you in London?
In London, yeah. So got a little garden area, which is nice.
Great.
Bit of outside space, which is like gold dust at the moment, isn't it?
Well, when you're in London, yeah, we don't have any outside space, so.
No, I'm planting like vegetables.
Oh,
on
nice.
the little terrace. I bought one of these like funky veg boxes where it's like purple carrots and weird yellow courgettes, and growing them. I feel like they're pets. Like every day I'm checking them and watering them, and they've just started to come out of the soil.
Yeah,
so
it's very satisfying though, isn't it? Like,
and I've never been a green-fingered person before, but it's times like this that just try new things, don't you?
You've got to, haven't you? Yeah.
Have you been doing anything new? Learning any new skills or things that you've never done?
I tried to learn French. Well, I didn't try. That's like an overstatement. But I like downloaded an app and was like, I thought of you, your experience. But I don't know. I haven't got much patience. Like I'm really impatient. And your mum. Yeah, so it's really hard. Like a fan on Waitress gave me a ukulele, and it's painted like a turtle shell on the back.
Amazing.
It's beautiful, and I was like, oh, maybe like I'll just pick that up. And I was like, let me try and learn a song. And I was like 3 chords in. I was like, nope, it's too hard.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Paris for 2 years and I can barely say anything, so wouldn't worry too much about that.
So funny. I love that.
It's
I
crazy.
feel like if you're in the country, it's a little bit easier, right?
No,
No.
because then you've got them correcting you all the time.
Yeah.
So you're constantly being told you're terrible, and like
That's
you
so
said,
tough because, like, I feel like if you're trying, they should
it
appreciate that.
got to the end, like at the end of the 2 years, I'd got very good in a restaurant, like ordering a drink and food,
Nice, yeah.
and I just asked for a glass of wine, and the man in French, and the man just went, "I do not speak English." I was like, "I'm speaking French," and I definitely know I said that right because I've been saying it for 2 years.
No, that's rude.
Well, yeah. No, do you know, on the whole, though, I found the French not to be rude. I know
that's good.
we've got this thing that the French are rude, but they're not. They're just very direct. They're just very direct, and they all speak English. So it's the universal language. It's the European language. So we kind of forget that the whole of Europe speaks it. And they're not being rude. They're just like, they haven't got the time to... They're like, oh, if we can do this easier in English, we'll just do that.
Yeah.
Anyway. I watched Carrie last night, the new version.
I saw that was on TV.
Yeah, I didn't realise it had Julianne Moore in it.
I know, it's the mum.
And the girl from Kick-Ass.
Yes, Chloe. No, what's her name?
Can't remember.
I can't remember her name either.
But I'd never seen it before. I'd seen the original.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not the musical.
No.
But how... Do you think we'll ever see that back?
I mean, there's always talk of it. Like, every time I see Paul Taylor Mills, and like last year I was working with Gary Lloyd on Cruel Intentions, and obviously Bill Kenwright's office were involved, and there was talk of it last year. But I'm just like, I'm getting older, you know, I'm not getting any younger, so I would love to do it again. Everyone always asks, like, what roles would you want to do again, and that's 100% hands down the one.
And what about Cruel Intentions? Because I saw Bill Kenwright tweet a few months ago.
Wow.
He just put, watch this space.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like getting close to being greenlit, and then this all happened, so it's just been put on hold again. Yeah, what can you do?
Who knows what's going to happen and when this is all going to reopen.
It's so scary, isn't it? And sad. It's so sad for our world.
Yeah. And I was saying, I can't remember who I've been talking to, that said it's, you know, the theatre is going to be probably the last one to come back because it's such an enclosed space.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really social distance, and how many people are going to
feel comfortable going to a space like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad enough in these tiny seats in the West End, but and you know, can people afford to go to the theatre anymore? Is it going to bring down the price of tickets? Maybe.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, hopefully. I mean, no one's going to be able to pay 250 quid anymore. Okay, so we've got some questions from fans, as I'm just lamenting on absolutely nothing. Funny moments on stage from any shows.
Oh, I'm an awful corpser. I'm terrible. I go so easily. But my most recent funny thing on Waitress, there were pallets that brought the set on, like the tables and chairs in the diner, so they're slightly raised above the stage. And one night I tripped over it. I ran over to Ogie and I was like, Ogie, and I tripped. And I think maybe a week later, Marisha was telling me that Sarah leant over to Marisha and was like, remember that time Evie tripped over the thing? And I did it again.
Oh.
That day.
It's such a shame that show's gone and you guys didn't have a chance to at least do one more show. Or
I know, but it's like that for a lot of shows, isn't it?
Do you think maybe you should all get together and do a Zoom concert? Do one last Waitress Zoom.
Yeah, we should do something like that. I know that we're all going to try and get together on July 4th, which would have been our last show.
Oh, okay.
Socially, we're going to try and go for a drink, if we can by then. So we'll see. Because I didn't get to do it with Lucy or David.
Such a shame, the whole thing.
Brief.
If you could be stuck on a desert island if not if you could be, if you were stuck on a desert island and you had 3 cast recordings, what 3 cast recordings would you take with you?
Whoa, that's a hard question. Oh God, I want to say first one that springs to mind is a chorus line.
Okay.
Just because it's fun, you could like dance around, couldn't you? And no one would be watching.
Yeah.
Parade.
Yeah.
Because I just love that show. And the Don Ma recordings, they're phenomenal. And then maybe something like more contemporary. Oof. What do I listen to? Maybe Fun Home.
Oh, yes. Apparently there's talk that they're live streaming that.
I read that, yeah.
From someone in America.
I don't know which production it is though. It's not the Broadway one.
I think it is the Broadway one, but filmed when it was in its out of town tryouts.
Regional. Okay, nice.
Connecticut or somewhere.
Right. Okay, nice. Oh,
I'd love to see that. Did you see it at the Young Vic?
No, I saw it on Broadway.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw the original cast and they were phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd love to see that again. Have you watched Flowers for Mrs. Harris?
Yeah, well, I got halfway through and I had
Me too.
But like Claire's my best friend in the world, and I don't think I realised like how much I missed her. And
Claire
like,
Bird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived with her for like 2.5 years.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my God, I miss her so much. And then I was like, I can't watch the second act. I still haven't gone back to the second act yet.
I haven't watched the second act because the end of Act 1 was so emotional.
I know.
And you I was trying to explain it to my boyfriend, and it's like, it doesn't really sound like anything really happens in the first half, but it's such a journey.
But did you see it? Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, because it sets up the second act. So I saw it in Sheffield and like sobbed the whole way through. But,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saving myself. I need to be in a good place mentally to be able to get through that. But it's such... I had really low expectations for it. But it's blown me away. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Have you seen any good live streams or anything that you could recommend on TV for people that may be a bit bored?
Oh, I was watching Unorthodox. Have you seen that?
Oh, is that good?
It's really bleak, but it's good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And In My Skin on BBC iPlayer, it's like, again, it's really bleak, but it's good.
Has that got someone in it?
No one
I've heard someone talk about it. I'm writing down all recommendations today.
Nice.
I'll write that
I'm trying
down.
to think of like funny things because it's hard to watch sad stuff in this time because you know your mood isn't always.
I thought they'd put on really uplifting things, but they're putting on all the films about deadly viruses.
Oh yeah, I watched Contagion the other day.
Yeah, that's a good one. But it's like, do we really want to be watching that now?
Have you seen Love is Blind on Netflix?
No.
That's stupid if you want like... Or Tiger King?
Tiger King I've seen.
That is brilliant.
That Love is Blind thing, it's like one of these Love Island things, isn't it? But they never meet until the last day.
Yeah, they have to get married. They like...
Yeah, I don't know.
It's stupid, but it's like mindless time passing.
Well, maybe I'll give it a go. I'll watch one episode. I've got nothing else to do, have I?
Exactly.
Okay, right. I'm going to let you go. Time has passed so quick. Thank you so much for talking to us.
So lovely to see
you.
And
stay safe. Stay
you
at
too,
home.
darling.
I'll speak to you soon.
Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so it is 5:15. I believe up next we have the one and only Mary Poppins. Very excited about this one. Zizi Strallen. Let's see if we can get her on the line. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm still amazed at how this whole thing works.
I know.
How we
just
can do
you
this.
with Evie, and then I'm like, oh, and now.
Yeah. It's like a telethon. It's
It's like speed dating.
Yeah, it is. It's like
speed dating.
Or what's that website? Omegle? Or like where you can go on and you just talk to people, and if you don't like them, you just skip.
Sounds like Tinder.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you do get a lot of men being vial on it.
Right.
So
So
you have
that's
to...
like the old chat roulette or whatever.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same. Exactly
Oh
the same
my
as
God, chat roulette.
that. Yeah, so I don't know if that's all still going, but
I think it
believe
is.
so.
I think it is, but actually, yeah, like you say, it's just quite inappropriate these days. I think. So
Yeah,
everyone kind of
maybe
stays
after a few glasses of wine.
yeah, you can just go and have a laugh.
Yeah, I think we've got the same mugs. Are they Le Creuset ones?
Yes. Well, I can't take credit because it's actually Greg Bernstein and Nick Butcher who I'm living with.
Right.
It's actually their mug.
Good taste. Good taste.
Oh, lovely taste.
I want to talk to you about Mary Poppins because I loved it. I saw it. I saw it years ago, probably 10 years ago. It was on Broadway.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was that my sister? Possibly.
No, it was somebody else.
Dunno.
Maybe it was the understudy.
Okay.
I'm not sure, and I remember thinking, oh yeah, it's good, but you know, and
It was slightly different in America, actually. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what the differences were, but in London, I was just the first time I saw it, I was in the very back row of the upper circle, and I had a perfect view, and I was just sucked in, and I may as well have been in the front row. I was just in that show, and it's so joyous and uplifting, and it must be such a dream to play. I mean, you've been doing it for years.
Well, I know. I mean, I had a 2.5-year gap in the middle where I did a couple of other things. And then came back to it. Actually, like, couldn't remember it at all. But yeah, it was really nice to have that gap because when I came back to it, I felt like a lot older and more grounded, and it was nice to come back to it in that way.
Some of those dance routines are pretty intense. They're like supercalifragilistic ones. How is something like that to learn? I mean, obviously you're a very good like dancer, and you must pick things up quite well. But even something like that must be.
Yeah, well, the thing with that is that it's like it's not dancing really. It's more kind of like hand gestures. So you can be like the best dancer ever and still, you know, we've got like Josh Denyer in our cast, who's incredible dancer. But just like even him, like trying to learn these letters, this is so funny. It's just all in the brain.
Yeah. Now, one question I've always wanted to ask a Mary Poppins, and I don't know if you can tell me this. But at the end, when Mary Poppins flies up through the audience and goes to the top of the upper circle or whatever, it seems that within 10 seconds you're back on that stage. Is there a trick to it? I imagine that you've got like a fireman's pole that you have to go
Oh my
down.
God, do you know how many times I've asked for a fireman's pole? I literally try and like sweet talk the automation guys, like, come on, just build me a pole. But no, I literally, so I get pulled in, I kind of step onto a diving board type thing, and then they pull me in and unclip me, and I have to rehearse it quite a few times in tech, but I literally leg it, like, and while I'm legging it, I take my coat off, I take my harness off as I'm running down the stairs.
Do you leave your umbrella and your bag, and do you have another one at the stage, or do you have to bring them with you? I don't come on for my bow with a bag or an umbrella. So that, I leave that at the top. Right. And then I run down the stairs with an ASM for safety reasons, and then like dump my harness on them, change my coat, run on. There's no trick to it. It's just me running. That's amazing. That's a huge amount of stairs. It's lucky you don't have to do any lines after that.
No, I know. I know, but you have to look like, oh, it's nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
practically perfect. Not at all perspiring.
Perfect. And it's literally at the end of the show. It's like I've just done 2.5 hours of Mary Poppins straight, and then I've got to run like down some stairs. Really cool.
God, well, you do it with what's the word? Poise? No.
Oh, I don't know. Grace?
Grace.
I try and have grace.
Yes. Now, I have watched the Royal Variety performance of Mary Poppins probably 100 times, because every time me and my boyfriend have a few drinks, he insists that we cannot go to bed until we've watched that performance. I don't know why. So I have literally, and I'm not against that because it's a brilliant kind of mashup of the show. So yeah, it's a really addictive show. Like, and even like, he was on 6, now he's on Mary Poppins. has these little moments of going through things. So when I said I was talking to you today, he was like, so
Mary Poppins.
yeah, he's probably watching in the bedroom right now. How are you dealing with isolation? What are you doing to stay positive and motivated? Have you got any advice for people on what they can do?
Well, right at the start of lockdown, I live on my own, so literally just on the cusp of us kind of going into this lockdown about a month ago, I was sitting in my flat on my own, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, you know, just sitting here talking to my plants. And I phoned my friend Greg Bernstein because I knew they had a spare room, and I came here, I've moved in here, and I'm so happy I did that because it's honestly changed. I could just see my sort of mental well-being kind of not doing so well, sitting on my own. And I know some people are doing it and they are absolutely incredible, like, you know, but I think if I'd had a dog or a cat or something, like, it might have been a bit better, but I'm so glad I came here, and it's been lovely. And I've just sort of been doing, like, I've been doing a 30-day yoga thing every morning.
Okay.
Just on YouTube, like a free, it's sort of 20 minutes every day.
Okay.
And then I'm absolutely loving Bobby's Bakery. I'm sure you've had some people talk to you about him.
No.
So there's a guy called Bobby, and on Instagram he does like a half an hour workout every morning at 11 o'clock, which is a great time for theatre people because it's not like too early. And he's just really fun, and he calls it Bobby's Bakery because you like cook he calls your abs your yum yums and your triceps your croissants and things, and it's just really silly. And more and more people are joining every single day, and it's really great. So I've been loving that actually, every day at 11, and he does every single day.
I'm writing that one down. I'm taking tips on quarantine today. Oh, that sounds amazing. Now you mentioned cats then. You were in the film Cats.
Yes.
How was that whole experience of doing something like that?
That might have to be a whole separate Instagram. I don't think we've got the time. No, it honestly, that was, it sort of feels like an out of body experience sometimes. Like when I think back to it, I'm like, was I standing in a weird suit talking to Judi Dench about being a cat? Like, you know, or did I pretend to lick milk out of Ian McKellen's Louboutin shoe? Like, it's a little bit like what actually was my life at that moment. But it was just a whirlwind. Like, obviously there was some real lows because we were up every single day at 4 a.m. And it was sort of like, it turned into like sort of 17-18 hour days every day with like 3 hours sleep. So you kind of got to the point where you were very sort of on the verge and very emotional every day and very tired. And it seemed to go on and on for like sort of 7 months, 8 months.
Really? That long?
But the people that I met on that film, like sort of the family that I have now of friends that I possibly wouldn't have known before, like Les Twins, the hip hop guys, or like, you know, or just people that I just would never be in sort of our sort of theatre circle. That's so cool and lovely. And so there's so many positives. Like Robbie Fairchild is like one of my best friends in the world. You know, and it's from all over the world. So, and I know it got crazy backlash, but it wasn't anything that we weren't expecting when we were filming it.
No. I went to see it because I was living in Paris when it came out, and I went to see it, and at the end there were all these people going mental, and I'm not sure if it was those Les Twins, but
maybe it was. That's where they live.
Like they were either very close to them or it was them, just in this tiny.
They love a public appearance, so it could have been them. It could have been them. They love it.
It may have been.
Yeah,
it was a very interesting film to watch.
I think it was just rushed, in my personal opinion. Like the work that needed to go into it, I think probably should have been like 2.5 years at least. And it was sort of done in a matter of months, and so it was just rushed.
We saw because they released a version, didn't they? And then like 24 hours later, they released an updated version
with Judy's hands.
Yeah, but you know, Paris being Paris, I think they were like, well, we've already put one version on. We're not now going to replace that with another tape. So I think they just kept the original version on the whole time. But it was a bit like a spot the difference, like how many weird things can you see?
I know. I think it's going to become a bit of a cult classic.
Absolutely.
One of those films that's like quite terrible, but it just becomes like a massive thing for that
Yeah,
reason, kind of
it's
thing.
how they all start, though, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
they've all got a
like
weird
The Room
story
and
to
all of those
them.
type films. Yeah.
One other thing I want to talk to you about, which I loved, was Strictly Ballroom. That was a brilliant show, and I'm just sorry that I hadn't seen it because it was on for a while before I got to see it. But because I hadn't seen it, I couldn't put it up for any of the West End Wilbur Awards. But I would have definitely put you up for one had I have seen it within the time. I thought that was a great show.
Oh my God, me too. Like, that show will always have a place in my heart, like, and especially my character. I grew up watching that film, and that character for me was just like such a journey to go on from, that geek sort of thing to like dancer at the end. And I've always loved doing Australian accent and the Australian humour and everything. It was just, it had so much going for it, that show. It was a shame it didn't last longer.
Yeah, it is. It's a real shame. I
think people just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it was. I think it was badly marketed, in my opinion. Like, I went to see it begrudgingly, thinking I don't like Strictly Come Dancing.
Show,
and it completely wasn't. And I came to see it because I got a free ticket from something, and I liked it so much. I came back to the matinee the next day, see it again, and I brought my mum. No, it was brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. Now, before I let you go, if you were stuck on a desert island and you had 3 cast recordings, what would you take with you?
West Side Story, hands down, because that's amazing. I've always been obsessed with Hello Dolly.
Yeah.
Just, put on your Sunday clothes and all of that. And
hopefully we'll see that in the West End still.
Oh, I know. I've got a couple of friends that's supposed to be doing it. And I don't know. It would be a toss-up between a few. But maybe like, would it be cringe to say Chicago?
No, not at all. It's one of my favourites.
I had a new appreciation for that show when I was in it. When you're so close to the band and you can hear all the arrangements and that Sandra and Ebb music is just insane.
Yeah, no, that'd be a great one.
Yeah.
Speaking of cast and recording, somebody said, is the new Mary Poppins cast recording on hold or is the release imminent? Do you know anything about that?
We actually have no idea. We don't know what the plan is.
Has it been recorded?
Yes, we recorded it live over a couple of shows.
Right.
So it's a live recording one, which I was a bit wary of because with me, when I'm singing in Mary Poppins, I'm running up and down and looking after the kids and whatnot. But yes, I'm not sure what it'll sound like when it ever does come out. But, I don't have an answer for that one, I'm afraid.
Who knows? Hopefully, everything's being put back and put on hold. And
this is the thing, yeah.
It's a really weird time, isn't it? No one knows what's happening and when it's going to happen.
And like you say, Mary Poppins is such an uplifting show. I think people are going to really need it when we come out of this. But I just, you don't know when that will be. They might do a 50% capacity situation or something like that, hopefully. But
yeah, hopefully. Well, I can't wait to see you back as Mary Poppins. And thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of your Sunday.
You too.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, who have we got next? 5:30, Christina Bianco. One of my favourites. Everyone's my favourite. Everybody I asked to do this, I did because they were one of my favourites. And everybody said yes. So I feel very lucky.
Hello.
Hello.
Awfully close. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. It's actually really nice here today in New York. It's been pretty crap weather the past few days, so it's nice to see the sunshine. So forgive me, I'm in my window. I'm like a little bit bright, trying to make it work for you guys. But
yeah, it's nice weather here today. The sun's starting to go because we're at like 5:30 now. Yeah. It's like midday your time.
Cocktail time for you.
Yes. Do you know I've not had a drink for 7 days?
That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, is that because you just had so much over such a short period that you totally OD'd on it? Is that what happened? Because I feel like that's what happened to me, because I'm not really drinking much.
I mean, you know us, we drink an awful lot anyway. But I don't know, we spent the first 4 weeks of quarantine saying, let's just get drunk at midday and keep drinking. And then it gets to the point where you've kind of worked up an immunity to it, and you're drinking like 5 bottles of wine a day.
Yeah, because it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable.
And then you're like, well, I can't actually afford to be drinking this much wine. So we've decided to try and take a bit of time off. So today's a week. Who knows how much longer we'll do. But it's definitely an achievement so far, because we are drinkers, as you know.
Yeah, I'm like literally waving to people leaving comments. It's like, hi guys.
Paris loves you. So let's talk about Paris. You did Funny Girl there last year. When did it end? January it ended? March
7th.
Yes. I can't remember. January is when I left.
You're like, last year.
Yeah.
You were just there.
I don't even know what day it is. Everything feels like 6 months ago now.
Sorry about the brightness, guys. Trying to fix it. But... Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, it was great. I still can't believe that we ended. Our last show was the 7th, and it was odd. Like, we thought we'd go longer because we were extended, but we couldn't. Theater had another show coming in, so we were done March 7th, and my flight wasn't booked till the 9th. And 3 days after I left, they were like, we're closing everything down, no one can come in or out. So it's like, I just made it, and then I just really made it back to the States too, because they started restricting people coming in. So it was perfect timing, and we're very lucky that we actually got to properly finish the production. So I don't take that for granted. That was such a lucky thing.
And it was a brilliant show, and hopefully we're going to see it again somewhere.
Yeah, we're still crossing our fingers for that. We should know shortly. This obviously, a global pandemic makes it very difficult to figure out what's going to happen with futures of theatrical productions.
And how is New York dealing with this quarantine thing? Like, you're in the center of Manhattan. Is it deadly quiet and eerie?
Yeah, let me correct some of what you might be reading or hearing our president say. New York was one of the first places to really lock down a lot. New York and California, because as you've known from any disaster movie, New York and California, particularly Los Angeles area and New York City, we have so many people so close together. Even if we all follow the rules perfectly, it's just, I mean, we're going to be the first hit because there's just too many people close together. So we were really diligent. I mean, they were everything that needed to close, like all the stuff that was deemed non-essential, closed down. And now you've got a very limited amount of people who are walking around for exercise, running, walking their dogs. Like, I'm walking, my dog's right here. I'm walking my dog every day, but I do it with a mask on. If I go into a store, I've got gloves on. So we're lucky in that we can walk places. We can walk to a grocery store. We don't have to get on the subway. We don't have to get in a car or go anywhere. So it makes it feel a little less like, oh my God, I'm leaving the house to go. You know, it's like we're used to leaving the house and walking, you know, going places. But I think what's odd is that seeing the city as a ghost town, I mean, that's always the big thing, because it's always so bustling with people. And it's very depressing. Our area is I live downtown in the Village, so it's a nice community. Like, I see the same people every day. We wave, we talk through the masks across the street. But we walked a little farther yesterday and walked up Broadway more towards Midtown, and that was weird because like a lot of places around the world in major cities, but prior to this, a lot of businesses had been closed because rent's too high, everything was too high. So they had the buildings and the storefronts that were already closed down. And now seeing everything closed and boarded up, I was like, gosh, who's going to come back from this? How is it going to affect the city and all of the businesses, and not just the big chains, but the mom and pop restaurants and all that. So it's a little depressing. I mean, for everybody it is, but to see New York in this state, which is usually so bustling, is quite depressing. But it's very helpful when everybody gets out their window and claps at 7 p.m. We don't have we're not supporting the wonderful NHS like you are. Our doctors and nurses are working so hard, and they never get any credit whatsoever. So we're cheering for them, and everybody else that's you know, all the quote unquote blue collar workers that never matter at all. They're exactly the people that are saving our lives right now. So we're clapping for everybody, and it's nice to see that community. You know, New Yorkers are really nice. Everyone always says we're like tough and mean, but I think it's just because the people that come to visit New York are always Midtown, and Midtown is 90% tourists.
Yeah.
So basically, you're just upset with each other because the real New Yorkers are really happy.
And how do you think this is going to affect Broadway when it's all over? Like, do you think, like, they're not going to be, it's the same as here, they're not going to be able to reopen straight away. And even when they do, they're going to have to do some kind of distancing because people aren't going to want to sit that close together.
No, I'm more optimistic than most. I think it will come back. I think it's essential for humanity and for the economy and for New York, for Broadway to come back and the West End to come back. And I think producers are chomping at the bit to do so, as scary as it may be. And I think that they'll be really smart about it. I know there's going to be changes for everybody in so many different ways that I don't even want to begin to think about. But I think that it would be so wise for them to bring theaters back, like Zizi said, like at 50% capacity, leaving lots of space between the rows. I think there needs to be a lot of incentive to get people to come, 2-for-1 tickets, group sales, or if it's the performing arts centers that are around the country. In America, it's really hard. We don't have a good transit system. We don't have trains to get from state to state and city to city. We just don't have that except for the coast. So a lot of those theaters in the middle America, they're going to be in big trouble because they're used to bringing in talent from the coast, and you know, and those theaters, they need those outside, I should say, like performers and organizations to come in. It's going to be hard to do that. But for Broadway and the West End, which has so many productions that are already ready to go, just need to be restarted. I'm just hoping that they'll, like I said, do lots of different incentives and be smart about it and space it out. I feel like if every show comes back all at once, that's too much as well. So even launching the different shows and theaters, I mean, and from what I've read, it seems like if we all come back all at once, it's going to lead to disaster. So we all need
it
to
might be, you know, maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll work out nicely. You know, maybe ticket prices will go down to get people back in, and like you say, like we're spoiled for choice with shows these days. That so many shows don't get the attention they deserve because people are seeing the Phantoms and the Les Mis because they're a sure thing. So maybe it'll be nice, and maybe we will start to see, you know, shows coming more. Kind of a few shows at a time.
I would hope that they would do that. I think people have a reason to get out and go do something. As much as people will be afraid and have that fear a little bit, I think an equal part of them wants to get back to life and wants to be part of a community. If anything, this has made people realize how much actual human interaction is so important. And you know, it can't just be digital, and it can't just be something that I don't think it can be taken for granted anymore. That's what I think. So. And
how are you personally dealing with this? Because like a lot of people acting, their shows have been cancelled, but I remember talking to you and like you were supposed to be going to South Africa, you were supposed to be in Australia, and you had a show in London booked. Like your life has literally stopped.
My entire life has literally stopped. Some of the stuff will be rescheduled. Some of it may not. Every single event I have, except for one, up until March of next year, has been canceled. Every single event except for one, and I'm hoping that one stays in place. It's I can tell you all. It's my symphony show in Indianapolis in November. Right. And we're going to see. It's my favorite thing to do, and it'd be a very lovely week run there. But even if that stays in place, I'm ready for it to change. I'm ready for them to, you know, do half capacity or half performances or something like that. It's hard because we as performers, but any artist really, our work is never consistent.
No.
So although that makes it easier for us than say someone that has a 9-to-5 job that is now just gone. I'm used to that sort of like, well, we'll see what's happening tomorrow. I'm used to that. But I'm also, because my work is so scattered, everything is meticulously planned. I hire my own musicians and they write music for me. It's like, and I pay those people accordingly based on the last gig that I've got. And it's a whole, you know, it's a big, the dominoes go up and if one will fall apart. So it's been hard, But as you can see, and as you're doing right now, everybody has been so creative. Everybody affiliated with the performing arts has been so, I should say, it's not just like aggressive, it's like the wrong word, but like productive and forward thinking. That in my opinion now, there's like too much content. Everyone's like, Christina, when are you doing a live stream? I'm like, when I have time to watch the 20 on my list that I have missed today because I said yes to helping someone film a charity benefit. So it's like, I'm really busy. I mean, I kept saying, I'm like, why am I so stressed out? I don't even have to wake up for anything, but each day, there are so many people I want to support by watching their work. There are so many people I want to support by helping a cause like the Actors Fund or TDF, and smaller theaters that I've worked at that are doing little video fundraisers. I mean, my day is filled in front of, it's not on right now, but in front of this circle light that is in front of me. It's like, this is my new office. And it's funny because I'm used to doing a lot of home videos, and it's crazy, not a lot of equipment, but a lot of wigs here at the house. So, quite entertaining dinners. I'm pretty much become Moira Rose. But I definitely wish that I had more recording equipment, more filming equipment, because this might be very important for auditions or for just keeping yourself active and in the public eye. So I see a lot of people that have never done any sort of home video before, any sort of online live performance. They're messaging me and saying, what do I buy? What do I do? And it's all sold out on Amazon. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's
I mean, I've never done an Instagram live like this before. Like, I'm not very good at talking to the camera, and I'm not very interesting and energetic. So even to do something like this is like, you get to the point where you're like, well, I have to do something. And, what is it that I can do that maybe other people will enjoy? But it's a weird time. Now we've only got a couple of minutes, and you are known for your impressions. First and foremost, you became a YouTube viral sensation 7-8 years ago, maybe.
I keep forgetting. Like 2014, I think. Yeah.
So I thought maybe, and I said to you last night, do you want me to tell? I said to you last night, do you want me to tell you who I'm going to say? And you said no. So Christina has no idea what I'm about to throw at her. But I thought I could give you some names, and you could give us some quarantine self-isolation advice.
Oh God, that's hard. See, that's not just the impression. That's me being clever. I'm not that clever.
Okay, let's start with an easy one. How would Celine Dion encourage people to wash their hands?
Well, hello, my friends. I have to say I'm so happy to be here on the program because, well, no, I am quite a fan. Everybody wants you to sing happy birthday when you wash your hands. But for me, I like to sing near, far, wherever you are. I believe that we're not far enough away. Back away, because Celine must stay safe.
I've just remembered, I had a dream about you the other night.
Oh, you did?
We were in New York, or I was in New York getting married. Celine Dion was singing our first dance. She sang My Heart Will Go On in a full, like, fireman's mask, because she didn't want to get coronavirus.
I knew that. I just knew that somehow.
And then, like, I'm going to cut this story very short, but you sang Don't Rain on My Parade on, like, a 6-lane highway, and you kept going in and out of all the traffic.
That's fantastic.
I'll tell you the whole story another time. Okay.
If me and Celine Dion are in your dream together, everything seems to be right in the world.
It was good. And we were at Joe's Pub in New York.
That makes sense. Favorite spot.
Adina Monsoon from AbFab must be going mad right now being stuck at home. What do you think she's saying?
Sweetie, I don't have any more body, darling. I don't know what to do. I just don't have any more body, and I don't have any more, I just don't know what to do. Like, pull my hair out, darling. What am I going to do? Am I going to have to talk? Am I going to have to talk? I can't bear it, darling. I can't bear it. I can't do it.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. It's always lovely to speak to you.
I'm very happy to talk to you, and thanks for doing this because it's super fun, and we all appreciate it. So thank you.
We all need something right now. I think everybody in the creative industry is just thinking, what can I possibly do?
Yeah.
And
stay positive, because once people go negative, it just spirals downward, and it's not going to do any good. So we got to be forward thinking.
All right, take care. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye, Annie. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. Here we go. Right, who's up next? Lucie Jones from Waitress. Let's see if we can get her on the line. I feel like I'm phoning people by pressing buttons. It's all very, very bizarre. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not too bad at all. And,
How's your Sunday going?
Yeah, pretty good. I had a little bit of a pizza and wine hangover, so that was fun.
Nice.
But I managed to go for a little jog and sit in the sun. And now the reason my face looks like this, kind of like remnants of lots of different makeup, is because I'm going through my makeup.
Okay.
So I'm like trying on all the bits of makeup that I have, because, you know, what else?
Yeah. I was saying earlier, I've been saying all day, it's like, I've been saying to people, it's like we're in retirement. You know, when you think, oh, when I retire, I'll read this book that I've had for 10 years, or when I retire, I'll go through my makeup collection.
Yeah, sense and sensibility, yeah.
It's like we're finally getting the time to do things that we never thought we'd have time to do.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like I feel guilty for saying it, but occasionally I catch myself and go, I'm enjoying my time at home, and then I feel guilty for enjoying it. But then I think, you know, no, I am making the most of the time, and I enjoy being at home, and I'm like teaching online, so I'm constantly in touch with new people and then kind of recurring people week after week and stuff, which is nice. It just means that I've got a bit of a routine going on.
Yeah.
I'm finding structure really helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I was going to ask you how you're surviving in quarantine, but I guess that's structure is the good one for you.
Yeah. I just find that if I get up in the morning, work out, shower, and like start the day, like put an outfit on, put a bit of makeup on, like sort myself out, as if I was going to leave the house to go to work or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't do that today. But yeah, it kind of then helps me to have like an idea of what I'm going to do for the day. So a structure, a timetable. When I'm teaching, I have to have that, because otherwise, you know, just my phone would ring and I'd be like, oh crap, I forgot that I have this lesson.
Yeah.
But
everybody seems really busy. Like everybody's, for the first couple of weeks, everyone was like, oh, I don't know what to do. But now everyone's like, oh, my diary's so full of like Zoom sessions and teaching and concerts.
It's really cool. I'm enjoying it. We have a quiz, a little quiz group that we do on a Saturday night, which is why I had a pizza and wine hangover this morning.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying like the Zoom thing, and I'm teaching online as well, which is fine. Like I've done it like always. I've never really taught one-on-one in person. It's always been online, so it's not too much of a jump. But I spend like 5 or 6 hours every day with students. So it's what's really annoying is when you forget to charge your iPad, then you're like,
yeah.
But other than that, I'm all right. I'm chatting rubbish, but yeah, I'm all right. I'm doing okay.
We've been talking today. We've spoken to Marisha and to Evie from Waitress, and we were saying that you guys need to get together and do like a Zoom concert, so that you can have one final sing through of Waitress.
Yeah,
because you never got to.
As much as I like that idea, I think that Waitress and all of these people. So I'm just taking off the remnants of the last lipstick I tried on as I was going through my makeup drawer. I think that like I want to be in the room with those people. I want to touch them, and I want to feel them, and I want to hug them, and I want to have the Waitress fans in the room at the same time. So you know what I mean? It's like,
Did you reckon you'll arrange, once this is all over, a big concert, a Waitressing concert?
There is conversations already happening about an event. That's
Great.
all I can kind of say at the minute.
Okay, we'll look forward to that one. I want to ask you about Eurovision.
Okay.
So you represented the UK in 2017?
I did.
How did that come about? Because that's a really bizarre, like you don't really ever know of people that do that. Did you audition for it? Or how does that process work?
So for me it was Hugh Goldsmith, who was basically heading up the music team at the BBC, came across me on YouTube, called me up and was like, do you want to do this thing? And I kind of went, Eurovision could go one of two very different ways. Like, I don't really know anyone that's done it before. I don't watch it anymore. I hadn't watched it in a couple of years, so just because I've been busy with work and stuff. So I kind of had like fallen out of touch with it. And when he sent me the songs and I heard my song, that the kind of trace outline of my song originally, I was like, right, okay, this I can work with. And they tried to push me towards doing one of the more upbeat songs, very, very originally. And I was kind of going, no, I really want to sing this song. Please, just listen to me sing it. If you don't like it, I just won't do it. I'll step away from the whole thing. It's fine. So I went in and sang it for them. They were like, great, let's do it. Let's go. And then I never thought I was going to win that UK final. There was a really, really cute little teenage girl with like an amazing belty voice that had a great little pop number. And the live audience in the Hammersmith Apollo seemed to be like completely in love with her, which was totally cool. Like, she was brilliant. But yeah, so I really didn't expect to win. So when I did win, and then did the press conference and everything, came home and I was lying in bed that night and I just went, oh shit, this is happening. Like, wow, okay, I'm going to.
And where was it? Ukraine. Okay. Somewhere
Yeah.
you'd probably never have gone otherwise.
Yeah, it was not high on my list, I have to say. But having been there, the people were really nice. To be fair, I was with security everywhere we went, because of the nature of the competition, and the Ukraine doesn't have a great history with homosexuality and gay rights, and Eurovision is obviously shrouded in that. And the theme of the year was celebrate diversity. So yeah, we were always on high alert for things like that, but it was absolutely fine. And interestingly, the British ambassador in Ukraine is an openly gay woman with a family, and she lives in Kiev. And we went to her house and we had a party in her garden and everything, and it was like, it was such a great, like, positive celebration of the country being in the place that it was, and the competition being there and everything. It was really cool. It was cool. It was bonkers.
Did they prepare you? Like, because the UK, we have a notoriously bad reputation. Like, Europe don't particularly like us, and it's always very political.
Yeah.
So were you kind of pre-warned, like, it's not you, it's the country that they don't like?
I mean, I had watched Eurovision for most of my life, so I was pretty aware of the way the vote usually went. I just kept saying to them, I just don't want to come last. I want to create something really amazing, so that if we did come last, hopefully everyone would be baffled. And the performance that they created, that Black Skull, the creative company, created, was amazing. Like, the staging and everything was so cool. And I was like, that's not coming last. I could go on and like bleat like a freaking sheep, and we won't come last, hopefully. But I did say to them at one point, when we were in the arena in a rehearsal, you do your song and then you go and you sit in the green room, which is like the sofa thing at the other end of the arena. We sat there and I went, so what happens if we did win? And everyone from the BBC was like, I don't know.
Haven't thought about that.
Nobody thought about it. It was like, no, nothing. Like, nobody thought about it. But yeah, so it was great fun. We had a good time. They did prep me for, especially because it was Brexit year. We just voted to leave. So when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean the collective we. But yeah, it was an interesting time to go and do that. But the only people that ever brought that up with me were the media. So people backstage, the other contestants, nobody was ever like, hey, screw you. Which was nice.
Was it quite a nice environment backstage?
Yeah, lovely. It was great. To be honest, I was doing Rent in the UK on tour whilst this all went on in Rent. Thank God. They were so sweet, and they let me have the time off to go and be in Ukraine for like 2.5 weeks. So when I got there, I was exhausted because I was in the middle of this huge tour. And I'd had a little bit of a health problem thing going on as well. So I was a bit like, okay, I really need to concentrate on looking after myself here. So I don't really drink that much when I'm performing like that anyway. So I wasn't going out and drinking and like partying and stuff, but there really is a huge like social situation going on at Eurovision, which interestingly I think is probably why when you get to the final, sometimes people don't sing as well as they have in their rehearsals, and because you televise the rehearsals and stuff, but I do wonder whether that has an effect on it.
I think maybe they ply you with drink to affect
No, gosh,
your...
no, it's not them at all. Not them. No, it's just got like such a party atmosphere about it. 'Cause everyone's so joyous and happy, and when you go out on stage and you see everyone waving their flag, doesn't matter where they're from, they just want you to be good. They want you to come on, sing a song, make them feel something, or make them dance, and then cheer, and then you leave. So even though I'm from the UK, and yes, maybe I should have by proxy been in the bottom few on the right hand side of the board, we weren't. But also in the room, I'd walk onto stage and I'd wave, and they'd all wave back at me and cheer and say hello. And that's like thousands and thousands of people from all over the world. It's such
How many people was that? I mean, these are in huge stadiums.
Yeah, actually in the arenas, I'm not quite sure, but the viewing figures were over 200 million for the actual show then, for the actual final, which is crazy. It's an insane amount of people. It's like unfathomable. But you can't really think about that. Do you know what I mean? You can't even picture them. Because who's seen 200 million people? It's insane.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it was really cool though. I did love it.
Something you probably, not many people can say they've done.
No,
and, probably a definite bucket list item.
It was also like just to be there and to watch it all happening. It's such a huge production. If I'm like the geeky stage person in me, it's like you get like 20 seconds between countries and it's live all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to reset. Like my set was huge and it weighed over a ton. Like it's insane. They have to dismantle this huge thing and they have to reset the pyros, everything. It's so like impressive to watch and to be part of. I do recommend people go and just watch it and be there at some point because it's great fun.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, just before we let you go, if you were stuck on a desert island and you had 3 cast recordings with you, what 3 would you take?
Waitress. Hairspray.
Mm-hmm. God, I don't know. Oh, that's such a hard question. Okay, what have I said? Waitress and Hairspray. Yeah.
Which I totally stand by. Probably like Annie or something.
You're not the first person to say Annie today, which is interesting.
Annie's like one of my favourite shows. I love it.
I've never thought of Annie as a particularly amazing album just to listen to.
I don't even know if I've ever listened to the album, but I feel like if I was going to live on a desert island forever, I couldn't do it without Hard Knock Life.
True.
I don't know. Also, like Hamilton, I really like the Mean Girls soundtrack. I think that's
great. Yes.
What else? I mean, Waitress has to be the first one every time because I love that album so much.
Yeah.
Hi, David Hunter.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to have to let you go because this cuts off every hour and it's going to cut me off now. But thank you so much for talking to us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm a bit tired, actually.
I know. Why?
I've been rummaging through my loft, going through papers that are like 10 years old and shredding everything. And then my shredder is burnt out at the moment. It literally has overheated.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, it's times like this that you have a chance to go through everything in the loft, isn't it?
Right? I'm like, right, I'm gonna have nothing. I got this little phrase. I don't want anything, any matter that doesn't matter.
Good one.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
I know, I'm sad, aren't I?
I was watching a panto yesterday online that's been released, and it was one of these like, if you see anybody go near this lever, you all shout like, "Don't go near it." And their thing was, "Don't touch the lever, leave the lever alone." I thought that was quite clever.
Little things like that, they get you through the day. You know?
Yeah. What have you found in the loft? Anything exciting that you didn't realise you had?
What was the thing I went, oh my God, I don't know, I still had that. There was something. I don't know, it'll come to me in a bit. But yeah, there was a few little gems. Oh, the one thing I've collected my whole life is theatre programs. I don't have it before, but I have like Joanna Riding when she was in My Fair Lady, and I've just found that. So I'm like, I chuck it away. And I'm like, I can't chuck it away. And I've got this, but what am I going to do with it? It just sits in the loft all the time. But it's a funny thing. That's the only things like I really struggle to chuck away are things like theatre programs from when I was a kid and I saw my first musical, which was Cats and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I find it hard. Although what I find I do is I collect them all, and then when I've got a load, I just auction them off for charity. That's like a big job lot.
Oh, that's
but then I'll take out like any that have got real sentimental value.
Yeah.
I will keep. So I've only got maybe a pile that big. I've got all my Broadway playbills. I'll never throw them away. Yeah, but no, I've got a couple of years ago, I must have sold, I think it was about 300 that I just sold in a job lot for charity.
Oh, and charity?
For charity, yeah. And then did it as collection only, so someone had to come and pick them up in a car. And raised probably over 100 quid, maybe 150 quid for the job lot.
Oh, that's not bad.
So
I think we're basically, you know, I've got all these programs. I don't want to chuck them away because they have value. Buy them all for 100 quid. Give it to charity. Come and pick it up.
Yeah.
Money's your aunt. There you go.
Yeah. Or pay your mortgage with it. I mean, right now, charity begins at home.
Right.
But no, it's a good one. So we were talking to Jordan Luke Gage earlier about And Juliet. How are you finding that show? How was it all going? Were you enjoying it? Was it?
I love it. It's one of those shows where I think because we've all been a part of it for quite a long time. So we've all invested in it for nearly 2 years now. And yeah, how do I feel? I'm just in love with it, and what I love is the relationship with the audience. There's a lot of times we reference the audience directly, and it's not often that you do that in a show.
Yeah.
Panto or stand-up stuff. So it's really lovely to have that relationship.
I've only seen Act 1 because there was a show stop when I came.
Gosh.
And so I still haven't managed to go back and see Act 2 yet. But I'm looking forward to it when I do.
Yeah.
It will be fun. I want to talk to you about your upcoming tour, Ladies of the Laurel Canyon.
Yes.
Which is very exciting for me because Carole King, Joni Mitchell, Carly Simon, all people that I adore their music. Two that I've not heard of, Bonnie Raitt, obviously. Maria Muldaur and Linda Ronstadt. I don't know who they are. Who are they?
Oh God, now you put me on the spot. So Maria did a beautiful version of Midnight at the Oasis.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. But I'm probably only going to do that of hers. And Linda Ronstadt's just done a load of stuff. Don't put me on the spot here, but yeah. She's got a beautiful. I think she did Blue Bayou.
What about Joni Mitchell? Are you a big fan?
I actually like her newer stuff now, but obviously I'm going to do her older stuff. But I'm a big fan of both sides now.
Yes.
And that orchestral version that she has out that was on the Love Actually soundtrack. Yeah. That was, I played that a lot actually. I thought that was lyrically just an incredible accomplishment.
Do you know what other songs of hers you're going to be doing?
I don't want to say it because it's quite a way ahead and there's quite a long list. So I don't want to say something and then it doesn't quite make the short list. So I kind of not quite ready to go, these are the definites.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And when does it start? October, the tour?
October 25th, I think, no, it's earlier than that. Oh my gosh, this is the thing. I have no brain cells for dates. I'm like, it's October till early November. We tour the UK. It's about 10 to 12 dates going around the UK. I'm very excited. I've never done a solo tour. Obviously, there's going to be quite a few Carole Kings in it, obviously. And I'm going to put a few of my own solo stuff in from my album as well.
Great.
So I can legit put those in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be fun. Are you playing London Bush Hall?
I am.
On the 8th of November?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. I did write it down, but I can't remember where it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I saw you when you did the Stages Cruise last year, the year before.
Yeah.
And you did your concert, and that was phenomenal.
Thank you.
That was a really good show you put on.
Thank you.
So I can't wait to see what you do with this Ladies of Laurel Canyon.
I'm excited. I'm going to get my crate on, and I don't know. It's a bit of a dream, because I toured with a band called the Jive Aces for quite a long time, and I really got into gig mode, and not gig mode, but learned how to gig as opposed to play a part in a musical. So it's been something I've really wanted to do, which is front my own band and sing as the lead person by myself and chat to the audience. So and I've done like one-off gigs, but I've not done a tour. So I'm just, I'm really, really excited. And obviously I hope it all goes very well, and that Corona goes away and everything just goes back to normal. And I hope I get to do it. Yeah.
How are you coping in isolation? Like, what are you doing to stay motivated? Have you got any tips for people that are maybe a bit unsure how to stay engaged with life?
Well, for me, it's after it kind of became very clear that of the severity of the situation, I deliberately unplugged a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I deliberately decided to do things that were proactive, that made me feel like I had cause over everything I was doing. So I started to just get up, have a really long day of cleaning, studying, doing a detox. I was like, right, what can I do now that I can't normally do? And I just got a long list of stuff that I never get to do. Some are personal, some are just literally like attack my loft, which has just become unbearable. And I've just been and this, honestly, the paperwork that I've kept, because the thing is as a self-employed person, you have to keep papers for like a long time, and then you just end up shoving them in the loft and forgetting about them, and the next thing you know, they've been there for way longer than they need to be. So I've been shredding that lot. Man, I wish I could do a bonfire. It's taken ages.
Oh yeah. Have you got a garden?
I've got a little, but it makes me feel a bit like I've got these little metal bins to burn stuff in, but it's just the smoke wafting around. I think the neighbours are going to panic. Fire going on or something.
Yeah, it's probably not great for the environment either, is it?
No.
Better to recycle.
Yeah, well, you can't recycle shredded paper.
Can't you?
I don't think so.
Why not? It all just gets melted down, doesn't it?
I don't know. If anyone knows the answer to this, as far as I'm aware, you cannot recycle shredded paper. Anyone got any?
Can you recycle shredded paper? Here we go, people. It's your chance to shine. Let us know. While you're here, we're asking people, if you were stuck on a desert island, what 3 cast recordings would you take with you?
Ooh. Oh, 3 cast recordings. Definitely Beautiful. Genuinely, because I was actually a fan of that show before I was in it.
Okay.
And I actually really, really like the orchestrations of the show. As obviously as the Carole King versions are good. What are the shows? Oh God, I don't know. Oh, and Juliet, of course. Of course. And what else? What else? Can I have a Barbara Streisand Does Broadway album?
Sure, can have whatever you want.
There we go.
Your desert island.
Does Broadway.
Oh, you can't recycle shredded paper. How interesting.
Sharon Jones.
Can you maybe, is it all like bank statements and stuff? Like, are you shredding it because it's got your address on and stuff? Can you maybe rip off the top bit and then recycle the rest?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I tell
Sounds
you.
like you're having a hoot.
I'm exhausted. I mean, it's quite a workout.
Have you learned any new skills whilst you've been in quarantine?
Any new skills?
Shredding? Paper shredding?
My shredder overheats, so that's what I've learned. There you go, I've learned that.
Now, if you could gender swap a role and play the role of a man in a musical theatre show, what would you have a go at?
Well, I always used to say Bobby from Company, but obviously it's been done now.
Yeah.
So I probably would like a go at Rum Tum Cats.
Phantom and Cats.
Rum Tum Tugger in Cats.
Oh, Rum Tum Tugger. Yeah, that's a good one.
Just because it's fun. You don't have to do very much. You come on and there you go.
Have you seen the Cats film, the new one?
I haven't yet.
You haven't?
No. Is it out? Can you watch it at home?
I think you can rent it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have a
yeah.
go.
Worth a watch.
That's my first ever musical. It's the first show I ever went to see, so it has a special place in my heart. And I know a lot of people don't like Cats, and I feel a bit defensive of that show.
Oh, I love Cats.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre story. I always say it's like X Factor with cats, where they all get to sing their own song, and then one of them gets picked to be the winner.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre story, but no, it's a great show. Who was in it when you went to see it?
Gosh, do you know what? I was so young when I went to see it. I have the program somewhere, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But no one that was like a name. Like it wasn't like that.
Great. So have you got any advice for people that are at home struggling with self-isolation, trying to stay positive, mental health-wise and energy-wise?
For me, like what I quickly realized was if I had a couple of days off this week and my mood went really low, which isn't like me, I'm quite a peppy person. And I was like, right, you literally, because it's very easy to get melancholy in this setup, in the way that the situation is. And I think it's really important to have little projects, even if they're like just silly little things, but something where you have to do it every day, or you make yourself do it every day and you give yourself a schedule every day. Because I find that the more I do, the more my morale is up. Like, just honestly, like, it makes such a difference. Even though it's something as plain as shredding paper.
I'm making a sock monkey.
Making a sock monkey.
It's not going very well, but yes.
A little disturbed.
Well,
I can't see that.
It's meant to look like that.
Okay.
It's got no arms and legs. It's got no arms yet and no ears, but yeah, little things. Whatever you can do to keep yourself occupied. I'm thinking of taking up knitting. I used to do knitting years ago. That might be a good one.
Walks. I mean, like I love going for my walk in the evening, which I haven't done for a few days. But what else have we? Just reading a lot, watching YouTube things.
You read any good books? I've read loads of books. Anything you can recommend?
I'm a bit funny. I don't read novels. I read factual books. I read a book on nutrition.
Oh.
I find I love factual books. Oh, I'm also rereading a book called Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone, which sounds horrendous. The title sounds so obnoxious, but it's actually a really good book to read now because it kind of gets you refocused, on your goals, how to attain them, driving through when there's crazy shit going on. And this book was written a few years ago, so it's actually kind of good to listen to it again now. And it's an audiobook. Yeah.
Great. Well, on that note, I will leave you to get back to your loft.
No.
Do let us know if you find anything stagey and interesting. I'm sure we'd all love to see it.
Yeah.
So post some pictures.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've done that. I will share
Okay.
it on Instagram.
Thank you. Stay safe, stay isolating, look after yourself, and look forward to your tour later in the year. Fingers crossed.
Thank you very much.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, we have come to the end of the day. We have one final guest left. And last up, we are hopefully going to be talking to Dame Jodie Prenger. If she's on the line, are you here, Jodie? I can't see you. We'll give her a second in case she's joining. So once again, everybody, you don't have to donate. This is a free live stream. I just hope it's providing some entertainment on a Sunday, something to do. But if you do have any spare money, there is a link in my bio for the Fund for Freelancers Fund. I'm not sure it was called Fund for Freelancers Fund or whatever. Set up by Paul Taylor Mills. It's raised over £53,000 so far, and all of that money is going to people in the theatre industry who need a bit of support at the moment. They've raised a lot of money, which is great, but we don't know how long this is all going to go on for. And so if you can support, just give a couple of quid, please do. The link is in my bio. Thank you very much. Let me see if we can find Jodie now. Hello, Jodie Prenger. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Hello.
Do you know what I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, started my my own video, my own.
I saw everybody was saying she's live on her own page.
Yeah.
So then I quickly ended mine. But by the time I got over to yours, I just heard you saying, oh, I've got to go over to the West End War one. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to wave. And I was like, oh, no, I'm here. So then I've had to go back to mine. We're here. It's all good. How are you?
All good. How are you? You all right?
I'm good. Yeah. You look like you're on a private jet.
Do I? I am.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
am in my own mind. No. Just at home keeping an eye where my dogs are. I can see one. And I've got a poorly chicken in the other room, so it's
Oh, no. What's wrong
she's
with
all
her?
right. She's had a stroke. She's fine. Ho-Ho's going to make it. She's being fed wild garlic and dandelion leaves.
Is that good for them?
Yeah, really good. Calcium is it's full of in the dandelion leaves, and the garlic's very good for worming.
Oh. Things I
Why-
didn't
why do you
expect
want
to be
do you
learning.
Do you want me to send you some?
Some worming tips for
Yeah, I'm
chickens.
joking. I'm joking.
Oh, how are you doing in isolation?
I'm okay. I'm not going to say I'm great. I think it's that I just never thought we'd ever face a time like this where we can't work and we've ever faced a time where we have to really kind of pull our socks up and you know, help the NHS like we're doing and just kind of heed every kind of warning we can. And I'm okay. My heart bleeds for everyone who's going through it, and I just feel I can't. Is that said? I feel like I can't do enough, you know, to help people. But we just do what we can, don't we?
It's a really scary time, isn't it? But I've been saying to everyone, thank God we live in this time of social media where we can all still connect like this.
I know.
You know.
I mean, it's a good thing. There's a couple of people I wish wouldn't call me, but you know, you can't have everything you wish for.
Well, true.
No, I mean, I couldn't imagine. I think that's the one thing that really, you know, it's really quite distressing. That's my dog going. What, darling? Oh, hold on, let me just let him know. Here we go. It's the joys of having so many animals. Yeah, it's that kind of, you don't get to see friends as much as you do, but thank God for social media where we can go and have a Zoom meeting or, you know, go on house party and all of our laughs.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? I just feel bad for, like, the last time this must have happened was the war times, and back then they had nothing, didn't have TVs.
Mind you, with that, to be honest, during my spare time with this, I'm volunteering with Age Concern, which is an amazing thing. I've met loads of best friends, and they're all coming to mine for dinner once it's all done.
Oh.
But they've said the majority of them have all lived through the war, and they said they never had to face that. They were never stopped from going out or going to see friends, or, you know, they had that freedom where we don't, and it's so important, you know, we stick to what we're doing right now.
Oh, I assumed that they were told to stay inside because of bomb scares and stuff.
I think if there was a really big siren going off, it was a kind of warning, don't go out. But they said, like, they used to go, like, next door or see friends. There wasn't that kind of, that 2 meters, that distance.
Yeah.
You know, that we're having to do. Who are you in lockdown? Are you in lockdown on your own? Who are you in lockdown with?
No, I'm with Pete.
How's he doing? Is he all right?
He's all right, yeah. He's got a personal trainer that he's doing, like, FaceTime personal training with, so that you can still exercise.
Is that just exercise in your face?
No. He's, like, putting the phone on the floor, and I don't know what he does. A lot of grunting. It's usually while I'm in bed in the mornings, so I'm not too sure what he's up to. But
isn't it weird? We're all getting up weird. Everyone I speak to, I don't know about you, is getting up later and later.
Oh God,
I'll
yeah.
wake up, go feed the animals and do all that, and then go back to bed for half an hour. It's Just weird.
Half an hour. Oh God, I'm getting up and having lunch.
You're a brunch. Are you a brunchizer?
No, I'm literally not getting up until lunch.
Are you not?
I'm not up before 12 most days.
Really? Okay.
So, although it used to be, because of the theatre world, the theatre world and how it works, like I deal with PR companies as my main thing, and they don't start work till 10. So I don't really have to ever get up until about 11. So it hasn't really changed that much for me. But then because I'm getting up so late, I go to sleep a lot later.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's all a weird time. I'm not too sure what to do. And then it's, how early do you start drinking?
It's never too early.
I know. I'm 7 days without a drink today. So
7 days. Why did you have an absolutely mad one and then decided like you have to stop?
well, I've been having a mad one for 20 years. But since lockdown
Don't
started,
talk about Pete like that. That's the
well, no, but you know, we used to drink a lot. But then since quarantine started, you've started earlier and earlier, and we've found we're getting through like 5 bottles of wine a day between 2 of us.
No.
And the problem is, when you're doing that every day, you become more and more immune to it. And I was like, if we don't stop this, then we're going to be drinking 10 bottles of wine a day and not.
You're
even
actually going to be a walking bottle of vinegar if
Yeah.
you don't stop it.
So we've decided to take some time off.
Okay.
Just to try and go back to normal, so that we can drink 2 bottles of wine and feel drunk. I know, it's dangerous. When you say it out loud, you think, God, I sound like a raging alcoholic. But
No, but it's true. It's just what you get used to. And I think, especially in the entertainment industry, the one thing you do is after a show, you go and have a quick drink, or before a show, if you're going to go watch it, you go and have a drink, and it goes hand in hand, really.
yeah,
So,
but I think the best thing about being in quarantine is you can't say, oh, well, it's so-and-so's birthday next weekend, so we'll have to have a drink then. So there's no point giving up now.
I know.
Like, there's no reason why we should be drinking other than pure boredom. So it's all very dull. But
I think that's what like kind of lockdown is creating, is that boredom. We've got to keep ourselves active, and it's hard to say that it's easier said than done, because like I said, we've never gone through this before, and it's just.
I found I'm reading a lot of books, which I haven't done before.
What are you reading?
At the moment, I've just started a John Grisham. The Guardians.
Or as I'm reading it, Mishking. Back to front.
Is it back to front?
Thank you.
Do you know, I've because I've been doing this for 3.5 hours today, and I thought, what if I need to go to the toilet? So I prepared this sign, which I haven't had to use yet, but because the camera's
Are you trying to say
flipped.
your bladder's full right now?
No, I did have somebody, and I was like, I know you've got a story that's about 2 minutes long. You tell this story while I go to the toilet.
Yeah, okay.
But I wrote this backwards because the cameras are flipped.
It's work.
So that's the most clever thing I've done for weeks.
I was going to say you need to get out, but please, no, don't get out. Stay
No,
home.
no, I'm going to stay at home. What were we talking about before that? Drinking?
Yeah. I think it's a good thing that you've kind of stopped that for a little while. It's just...
Reading we were talking about. And speaking of reading books, I didn't realise you've got a book.
Don't, if you have it. It's a doorstop, isn't it?
I ordered it last night.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
I did. I found it on eBay.
I think I wrote it in. I think it was 1926?
I think it says 2006, 2009.
How scary is that? I know.
But no, I've ordered it. So what's it about? Is it? I guess it was at the beginning of your career, so it's probably more your.
It kind of goes. It goes way back, kind of from my childhood, going all through, and then it was just really after the Nancy show that took me out, and I really from then onwards I forgot the rest. So which is probably a good thing in many a night out. But it's just up to there. Mind you, when you start drinking again, you can use it as a new coaster.
Yeah, is it a big one?
Please don't talk about me in public like that. No, it's quite.
Okay.
Would you call that big? No, that's okay.
Depends.
I actually, do you know what? I actually don't have a copy of it because it's that thing. It's, you know, I can't stand to hear myself sing. I can't stand to hear my voice, and I'm a bit cringy with stuff like that. It's like,
oh, you should at least have a copy in your bookshelf.
I can't. Do you know?
No.
Have you ever worked with somebody who's actually given you either their book or their DVD as like a present? It's just, you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
No.
I can't say.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Give me 3 clues and see if I can guess.
I know there's been several. Several people.
Oh gosh, no, really?
But I do, you know, I get what you're saying, but I like to support, you know, friends and people I know. I like to support them by buying their stuff, and so if someone gave it to me, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to read that, or I'm going to listen to that, or, you know, I like to be involved with what people are up to.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I've still got a Danny LaRue. I've still got my Danny LaRue, my Patti LuPone, and my Kevin Kennedy autobiographies, which I'm going to go through during lockdown.
What's the Patti LuPone? Patti LuPone.
Patti LuPone. It's her life story, and it's the one where, is it Randy Rainbow did an actual kind of live
reading of it?
I think she recorded, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, but I think she recorded it as like an audio book.
Right.
So I'm still umming and ahhing whether to kind of listen to the audiobook because I love Patti LuPone.
Yeah. Have you seen all the videos she's been doing on Twitter?
No, I haven't seen. No, I haven't.
Oh God, she's
doing videos.
She's been doing. So she did this Rosie O'Donnell live stream, which is where I got the idea for this, where she talked to loads of Broadway people, and Patti was in her basement, and then everybody went mental, going, "Oh, what's all that stuff in your basement? Please show us." So she started doing these live tours of her basement, and everyone.
How big's her basement? Is that? I never thought I'd say that in a sentence with Patti LuPone, but
it's pretty big. She's got like pool tables and jukeboxes and pinball machines. But she's just been doing these crazy, like, she hasn't worked out how to do a video longer than 2 minutes, because that's all Twitter lets you do. Right. And so she's been speaking so fast. Just have a look on Twitter.
I'm definitely going to have a look.
It's been passing the time for me. It's been great fun.
What are you doing to pass the time? Is it been quite active for you? Obviously, because what you do is like such a great thing in promoting shows and championing them. Is that?
Well, there's no shows to talk about now, is there?
I know, but there's things that hopefully that are going to go, you know, coming up, and I just think I can't wait till the theatre doors open again.
There's a lot of live streams happening. A lot of people being very creative, doing like online stuff, and a lot of theatres are now releasing recordings that people can stream for free online. So I'm just kind of clutching on to any information that we're getting and just talking about that. But for the most part, I'm just watching Law and Order.
What, the UK one or the American one?
The American one.
Yeah, thank you.
On I think it's 5 Star, the TV channel. At like 10 o'clock every night, they do 3 back-to-back. So I just watch those in bed.
Get down. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got a poorly chicken to look after.
And I know you've been doing a marathon of a quarantine.
3.5 hours I've been doing this.
Hey, cheers. That's really lovely.
So, yeah, I just hope it's given people something to do for the afternoon, really. And it's been nice to speak to people. I mean, I've not really spoken to people, especially not for 3.5 hours straight, for quite a while. So, no, it's been fun. And it's all good. So look after yourself, stay safe, and thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, not at all. Thank you for doing it. Just stay safe, and
I'll let you know what I think of your book.
No, don't.
Maybe I'll do a live stream reviewing it.
No,
I won't.
Please don't.
I won't.
Please.
All right, look after yourself.
All right, darling.
I'll speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that is it, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining today. 3.5 hours. I would say I'm going to go and have a drink, but I'm 7 days without a drink, so I probably won't. but I might treat myself to a takeaway. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm sorry I didn't get to go through anybody's questions on here, but if you liked it, please do let me know on social media, and I can try and arrange another one of these with different guests. Maybe not for 3.5 hours this time, but we'll see. So thank you very much. Stay safe, stay at home, and I will speak to you soon. Bye, guys.